Like, what is it that Sharife Cooper hasn't done that I can say he should do to say he's done it all?
He won that championship. That was it.
Everything. He's done everything. He's scored a lot of assists.
The only thing that can cap off his career is becoming Mr. Basketball.
So why is it that when I watch it while I'm Odom, did I feel like he's the best player? Every time I watch LeBron Odom play, I feel like I'm seeing something special. Like I'm seeing something that I'm not gonna maybe not see again. I said that for a long time. BJ Boston was my favorite high school player in Georgia. I don't get that feeling that I'm seeing something I'll never see again. It's the Love of the Game podcast. We're back. We're in the building. We had basketball to watch this weekend, fellas. But first, it's been a few days, man. So I'll just ask, how's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing? What's going on? Everybody happy, healthy? We all in a good space? I know it's July. Bryce, are you okay?
Yeah. It's not July anymore. It's August.
Yeah. It's all, it's all backwards now because, I guess we would have been, if we would have started in March, March and April, that's kind of like your little preseason. So we kind of just, we just jam packing a whole preseason, or not even a preseason, but like a spring, you know what I mean, into summer. So we're doing all at one time. So, by now I would have known what kids can do, what they can't do, and so we kind of trying to figure it out on the fly. But other than that, it's all good.
We Huff and I were able to enjoy some basketball this weekend. But Huff, first, before we get into the basketball that we were able to enjoy, I do want to make sure that we acknowledge the loss for Georgia basketball and give a quick moment of silence to all of our brothers and sisters in Statesboro, Georgia. So I'll bring this up, Huff, and if you can kind of talk us through this and kind of lead us into a quick 60 seconds moment of silence for Statesboro.
No doubt, man. We lost a great man, a great mentor, a great coach, Coach Lee Hill of Statesboro High School. It's so funny as I'm talking about him, I can hear his voice in my mind as he talked to me as a young coach about coaching, different lessons of coaching, coaching down in South Georgia. As one time I had got offered a job down there near his way. I remember him saying, if you don't want a state championship now, you don't forget about a person now. I don't want me one too. He just had that raspy voice that you just love to hear talk, man. And he coached some legends. He won a state championship. He's just a great man. I think we've all seen some of the tweets and stuff that have come out about just a great person. And our condolences and prayers to the Statesboro community, the Hill family. I know his son had done some coaching with him sometimes. So we're just sending our condolences and prayers from the Love of the Game family, from the Georgia basketball community family. And so we'll have everyone that's listening to us. We just want to have like a little 60-second a moment of silence for the passing of a Georgia legend, Lee Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it, Mondre.
No doubt. No doubt. Much respect to everybody in Statesboro that's going through it. We lost a member of our family, so that's always important. And before we get to all the hooting and the shouting and all the hollering and jokes that we get to, man, we wanted to first acknowledge Statesboro. They are a part of our community and what's going on in our basketball community. We are one Georgia.
And we've got to understand how many lives he touched, produced some great players. Eric Ferguson, who I was able to coach at Georgia Southern. Rashad Wright, who many people know from Georgia. I mean, a lot of guys know James Williams. If I'm not mistaken, James Williams, head coach at Drew Charter, played for Coach Lee Hill. And we can go on and on and on, man. It hurts, man. Forget about any coach that's been at Georgia Southern. Statesboro was Lee Hill country. The court was named after him.
No question. No question. So definitely, man, shout out to those guys. We're here with you, Statesboro. No question about that. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. We're definitely here with you guys. We support you guys. We love you guys. As we all go through it. There was basketball being played. And a lot of talk coming out of the basketball that got played, a lot of discussion. And of course, we're going to get to it. We don't duck nothing. So you got to understand when you label a tournament who want the smoke, we bring the smoke week in and week out. So this ain't nothing new for us, dog. Like we're going to get to it. I want to get past, we'll talk about the Who Want the Smoke event. We'll break down, give you all the names of the guys who really got busy. We're going to show plays from guys who got busy. We're going to show some things that weren't so great. We'll get to that. And we're going to get to all of it. Let's go here. There's a lot of things going on. But first, before we get there, it was basketball. Georgia teams represented all over the place. Hoop Scene had something going on. There was something going on. Prep Hoops was at Lake Point. Bryce, you guys were in Alabama?
Yeah, Hoop Scene.
How was it out there in Alabama, man? Give us a rundown. How'd you guys do? What'd you see?
It was pretty good, actually. This is the first time I've had to travel in 3 or 4 years, so it's kind of weird. But the facility was real good. I mean, it was big. It was nice. You know what I mean? Plenty of room, plenty of courts, so you can really see some good basketball. I got a chance to check out 17U, but I also checked out some younger kids, 15, 16U. It was some good teams. The Nike Elite Hoops, I think they're called. Or Nike Elite something. They're from Alabama. EAB from Tennessee. They're solid at every age group. I think they probably won 2 or 3 age groups. We, as far as my team, we were all right. We were 2-1, but with the kids I have and trying to get them to understand that you have to play hard every time you come out, and you can't judge your competition. So we end up winning the first game, which was actually a good win. We end up going on like a 20-point run in the last probably 7 or 8 minutes, and we end up winning by 10. We played 4 hours later, and we played a team that had maybe 1, maybe 2 college basketball players. And they had one guard that was pretty good. I give it to him. Like, he gave us 27, but they didn't have much else for us. Whereas we probably have 7 kids that can play college basketball, but they jumped out on us and we were lazy. We were throwing the ball away. We just were acting as if we deserved to win because of, the way we looked in warm-ups and how we walked in. And we started off really slow. We were throwing the ball away, not getting back on defense. So come down to it, it's the second half. We're down 16 points with 5 minutes to go. We call a timeout. We said, look, at this point, we had already been gone man, but we got to go full court man. So we go from 16 points to about 5, down to 5. And less than 2.5 minutes. So that should tell you something right there.
Yeah.
I think my band was slowing down and lock got on, but we get some more steals and we have an opportunity to. Can you hear me?
I still got you, Bryce. Go ahead.
Okay, so we get some more. We get 3 or 4 more steals under a minute, mind you. We're down about 3 or 4 points, and it's only a minute left. We get 3 steals in that time frame, and we go to the free throw line and we don't convert. So we lose that game. But it wasn't necessarily those free throws that got us in that point. It was the fact that we, from the beginning, the first 5 kids that started the game started off like, oh shit, I don't gotta play hard against them. And I don't got to do anything. I just played a good game the last game. Well, no, that doesn't work like that. It's a 1 game elimination, and that 1 game they beat us. So we end up winning the next day, but for them, the lesson is that you guys want to play at the next level. Whenever you step on the floor, you got to go hard. You got to go hard, and you want to get exposure. You want to be seen. You had your opportunity right there. You know what I mean? You had that second game. It was plenty of people watching, ready to tweet. Hillsman was watching, and all these other people were watching that could get you some stuff or some exposure, and you acted as if you didn't have to do anything. So a lesson learned for them. But all in all, they are younger too. So in the past, I've had unsigned seniors, almost 4 or 5 of them, whereas now I have majority of rising seniors. You know what I mean? So they're a little less mature than the kids I've had in the past, and trying to get them to make the extra pass sometimes, trying to get them to defend. And some of those things are a little bit more difficult. And that causes them games. It's caused them games because of those things.
We talked about that, Bryson. Your guys weren't the only ones. I think Huff and I saw transition defense be a big problem for some teams. And it cost them games this weekend at the Celtics event as well. We saw guys, and you talk about it, saying, hey, I normally have unsigned seniors, and now I have some guys that are rising seniors, and how big of a difference that is. Huff, you and I saw that too. Like, there is a big difference. Like, we saw some guys that were trying to play up 17U, and even though, you're heading into your junior season, it's a big difference between you as a junior, you as a senior, and you as an unsigned senior. Like, you could see the tears literally on the floor for guys. And then sometimes those unsigned seniors are a little more motivated to play the right way, because they know, like,
it's their last chance.
This is my last chance. So I think
I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I mean, that's just a good and a right way to play basketball. And there were some that were able to do that this weekend, and there were some that weren't able to do that this weekend for whatever reason. Whether you 16U, 17U, unsigned senior, it's about playing basketball the right way, what translates. And we've got to get more people that are able to tell kids what translates. Highlights don't translate.
Yeah, no doubt. While we're on that, while we're on this topic, I want to bring on somebody who kind of saw some of what was going on, or just has some opinions about what's happening with basketball all around, right? And we're going to address all of this stuff that's going on. But I want to give the floor to somebody real quick that put out a tweet and have some things to address to the adults, which I always like, because we talk about kids a lot, but we generally don't talk about the adults and the impact adults have on a kid's game a whole lot. So hold on a second. I'm going to bring on Cam. Cam Daly.
What it do, Dre?
My man, this is I want to let the audience know this is unprompted and impromptu quick session. Cam, we bringing Cam in off the bench. We're gonna run 1-4 flat, and everybody's getting the hell out the way. Cam, floor is yours, sir. Go ahead.
He's used to that anyway, you know.
Hey, man.
I know. I was about to say the same thing, bro.
Man, be quiet, Locke.
Cam, get it off.
Hey,
my light-skinned brother.
First off, Locke, you my guy, man. Bryce, appreciate y'all. Huff, you know, me and Huff talk all the time. Black guys like that, we talk all the time, man. And you know, I called Dre today, man, because I've been in the game for a while, man, a long time, and I done sat back, and I don't try and disrespect anybody. I don't try and tweet like stuff at people like I'm mad at them or anything, or like, you know, we got a lot of diss tracks going on in basketball right now. But then when you sit up in the front and you see a person face to face, it's like they don't have nothing to say, or they want to run backwards and say, "Oh man, I wasn't saying this and that." So I'm here just to address some things, man, with me. And people can be mad at me and they might say, "Oh, Cam don't know nothing," but I think I'm respected just a little bit in this game. And one of the things that, you know, a guy like Huff can tell you is I'm a realist and I tell kids the truth. So now I'm about to speak about these adults in this game. Like I said on my tweet, scouts be out here calling kids pros. But my thing is to a couple of y'all scouts and people like that, the adults, how do you know a pro? Off of somebody else telling you they're a pro, or off of, you know, you seeing it because you've seen a pro before. I don't like to use the word pro loosely. And I think in today's age, every kid thinks they're a pro. Whether that's from somebody talking about their stats or everything like this, or that's just somebody saying you got pro potential. I know a lot of people who got pro potential who aren't pros, who won't play the game past high school sometimes. So, you know, that's one of the things that bothers me. And then another thing that bothers me is like the AAU and high school thing. Like Huff is doing something in Black, and my guy from Ryder say they're doing something with, they want the high school, the college, and the AAU coaches all to come together and like bridge this gap between each other. But like a lot of the times, certain coaches, high school coaches, don't want people to play for certain AAU organizations. Certain AAU organizations don't want high school guys or the coach to be involved. But if we all about the kids, why ain't it about the kids though? You know what I'm saying, Dre?
Yep.
Like, why we ain't about the kids regardless? If your guy's gonna get like the proper training, because I think if an AAU coach and a high school coach work hand in hand, and even a trainer you throw in there, like we're about it for the kids. So the kid's gonna get something good, right? But at the end of the day, we all want the fame, man. And that's why adults are killing this game, because it's all about me, my guy, what I want them to do, where I want them to go. And everybody's like, "Oh man, I want my kid to go anywhere." Man, stop. Some of y'all out here lying. You don't want your kid to go anywhere, because a lot of these kids out here got these offers and they ain't taking them. Why? Because their parents or their trainer or their high school coach, their AAU coach telling them don't. Like, it's crazy. Like, if you're good enough, they're going to find you regardless where you at. You could be at an NAI averaging 30. They at least going to give you a shot. But everybody wants the D1 dream and to play at the highest level. That's the reason why we got half of the transfer list now, because we ain't telling kids the truth and they going too high. Half of them. That's my take on it. Like, and then you have a lot of like with the HBCU thing. A lot of the people are like, the HBCUs don't come around enough. I don't see them in my gym. Yeah, I get that. I totally get it, because I was a high school coach. I was a post-grad coach. I've been training. I've coached on the AAU, on the highest level and the lowest level AAU. I was with the EYBL team. Like CY said the other night, and I kind of scratched my head, because he said, y'all got to get off the HBCU train a little bit, like dogging these guys out, because you don't know how much time they have to coach somewhere. Because if a guy gets a 3-year deal, he can't take 5 freshmen and hope they win a conference final. They win to get them to the next level, because you know what may happen? He's fired. And that's these people's livelihoods. Like, a lot of us coach AAU and we coach high school. And man, I coach high school, man. If you break down the money, you get like $3.25 a day, $3.25 a day.
Talk to him.
Right?
Talk to him. Talk to him.
And look, Dre, I could be on, man. This might be a long show, man. If you let me go, because hey,
Keep going.
Hey,
Keep shooting, dog. You always keep shooting, dog.
Let's go.
So listen,
We won more. We on the way.
so you getting $3.25 a day, right? Johnny White at Douglas County High School with the football program says it's beautiful. Man, I spend more time with your kid than you do, because he has school all day. He come to practice. By the time he come home, it's 7 or 8 o'clock, and I'm getting $3.25. And then you behind me in the stand screaming and yelling at me and telling me I ain't running sets for your son. But if I want to win, I'm going to play your son, correct? Or your daughter. Because I want to win, I got to keep my job. So a lot of the people say these HBCUs like, oh, man, they ain't coming in. Man, we don't know what kind of budget they got. Everybody ain't like Huff when he was at Alcorn or however they say it, State, you know, because people in Mississippi probably gonna get mad at me.
How do you say it?
Alcorn, I think it is. Or like Alcorn. Yeah, there you go. I got it. Yeah, so
what's the one that Mondre can't say? Damn, I can't even think about
Norfolk.
it. Norfolk. Oh,
Norfolk.
hey, man, I'm from up around the way up there, man. Don't start with that, man.
Yeah.
I just don't say the name right. I love it.
Don't even say it.
The name right. I'm ordering some shorts though.
So yeah, this is the thing though. So like, you don't know that HBCU store, or you don't know that Division I school you want your kid to go to, right? But what about that D2 been calling, that NAI school they've been calling? What about them? Because listen, some of these NAI and these D2 coaches are so good that they're going to be Division I coaches one day. But we spit in their face, or because they're not a D1, we ain't gonna talk to them. We ain't gonna pick up the phone for them. Or we telling our kids, don't pay no attention to them because you better than that. But us as adults, we are killing this game of basketball, man. We are. But let me roll it back for y'all though, and I'm gonna put it to y'all in basketball terms right now. The reason why we are killing this game, one is we got a bad taste in our mouth, because maybe we didn't go to the school we wanted to go to, like the Kentucky or the North Carolina or the Duke. So we want our kids to go there so bad because it's a notch under our belt. Or it's just saying we got our kids to the highest level. Look at me, because now I can get kids into my program, whether it's high school, whether it's AAU, whatever it is, it's all about me. Man, it's about these kids. Like, secondly, you know, we got trainers and stuff and everybody out here. Man, I train. But I don't try and kill another trainer, or I don't try and like diss track another trainer or talk about what they're doing, or I don't try and do the my guy. Like, this is my guy. You can't go train with this guy. You can't go train with that guy. Man, hey, if a kid want to go train whoever you want to train with, that's cool. But the problem with that, parents, once again, is this: a trainer is trying to build on something with your kid. So if you don't like the 2 or 3 dribble pull-ups or the pump fakes, the fundamental stuff I'm working on, hey, man, there's the door. You can go somewhere else. All right? If you want a free workout, hey, I get it. Go. But it's like putting used parts in the BMW. So you take a BMW's frame and you put a Toyota part in it, and you put some Jetta seats in it, and you put a speaker from Mercedes, and you put something like this, man, it is that car is not going to run for long. So the thing to parents with this or kids, let a guy or a girl train you and mold you at least for 6 months. And if you haven't gotten better in those 6 months, then yeah, it might be time for you to go somewhere else. But you also got to look at it. Like, a lot of the people who, you know, we try and work on all this flash to keep kids in the gym with us and all these, you know, behind the back Euro steps, man, I'm seeing kids in these AAU tournaments Euro step themselves to the sideline, because instead of having a regular layup, they trying to do a Euro step to get the oohs and the ahs. You know what I'm saying? So we're not holding them accountable. And the problem is that with so much stuff we're not doing, as far as, and I'm gonna say it, y'all can be mad, and if y'all tweet me or, you know, you inbox me tonight mad, I'm just gonna know that, like, I'm speaking about you. Because my old coach Hudson used to tell me all the time, a hit dog will holler. You know what I'm saying? A hit dog will holler.
Talk about it.
If an AAU coach, a high school coach, and a trainer, if you're mad at me for what I'm saying, then maybe you need to get out of this game and go play golf. It just is what it is, because us three have got to get on the same page to hold the parents accountable and the kids accountable. Because see, if I train a kid and say I'm training Dre's kid, right? And he's playing for Bryce. So I'm going to the game and he ain't getting a whole lot of playing time. And I'm telling Dre, man, your son need to go play with somebody else, man. Bryce don't know how to coach, man. He's terrible. He ain't getting you enough shots and stuff like this. You know what happens? I'm imprinting that in Dre's mind. So Dre is thinking, man, let me watch another game. My son will get enough shots. Then you know what he says? F Bryce, man. We ain't on this team no more. So we jumping ships, man. But I can rewind it now because a lot of these AAU programs too, and I was on a high level. I coached the EYBL team. And we had one weekend going to one spot, and we lost every game. And we went to another spot, and we had 12 new kids. And that's wrong too. But I get it on the highest level because see, on shoe levels, and I don't know why everybody chases the shoe thing. I've never been like, I don't understand that. EYBL, the Under Armour, the Adidas, everybody chases that. Like there are guys good enough to play at that. With those levels, if you play at those shoe levels like that, you got to understand basketball and know the game. Because that's how they're going to play in college. Like, you know, the Celtics, Locke, you the scout dude. What's another team out here? Just say your 3 top teams.
Right now, shoe teams are 3 top teams. Period.
Nah, three top shoe teams, and then we'll go after that.
In Georgia or just period?
Yeah, Georgia.
You got the Celtics.
Yep.
You got the Stars.
Okay.
And
Why
the most.
Don't help him, Bryce. He the scout guy. He should know.
Wait, you got Express. Well, they're not good this year, but that's a team.
Okay, so listen. So let's go here. Let's just go with the Celtics.
Yeah.
Great organization. All right.
Yep.
Everybody tweeting about them that, you know, they lost and all this other stuff like this. Like I called Dre earlier. I said this, yo, dude, they the best team in Georgia. But does everybody win every game? Why are we jumping off their bandwagon now? Now everybody's sending these diss tweets at them and everything else like this. Like when the ball goes up, you're going to win or lose regardless. I applaud them for even putting on an event like that and playing 2 tough teams. Now, should they have lost or won? I don't know. But it's basketball. Yeah. Anybody can win and lose. I don't know any team that's going to travel here to play in a tournament and say, we're going to go play the Celtics, or we're going to go play Huff and Holy Innocents, or we're going to play Bryce with his team and say, we're just going up there to lose. No. When the ball goes in the air, any team can win or lose. That's why basketball is so great, because you never know. So they lost, and now I'm seeing all these tweets and everything, and, oh, man, I'm glad, and, you know, Florida run this and all this other stuff. Man, in a 7-game series, the Celtics probably winning 5 of the 7.
Most definitely.
But listen, I'm a big fan of Miles Rice's right now because he plays the game in the right way, and he's playing like a next-level college guard. He feeds them the ball. Everybody would need the ball. He's playing good defense. He's running the floor when he needs to. He's commanding stuff, and he ain't taking no crazy shots. Where he looks good because now whatever school he goes to, he's going to know how to do that because I played with 4 or 5 other high-level guys. So that is like a high or mid-major Division I program. And now I hate that term. So let me not even say that because I hate everybody saying the mid-major, the high. Division I is Division I, right? So when Kentucky plays Norfolk State, it's a 1 and a 16, correct? But they're both Division I teams. You never know. That 16 can beat that one. This happened before. So the same thing happened this weekend. And I don't have a dog in the fight with any program. I love all the programs. I want to see the kids succeed. That's what I'm about. I'm about the kids. Even when I was at Douglas County, I tried to help our kids at Alexander, kids at Lithia, kids at Westlake, kids at Creekside. I try to help our kids all in our region because at the end of the day, it's about the kids, ain't it?
So can I? You talked about kids going to the right spot, and the adults being the issue. So if you don't have a circle, like I can pick up the phone and call Locke and say, "Yo, come look at this kid. I got 5 kids. What level you think they are?" In my mind, I kind of already know because I can say that kid doesn't really have a consistent jumper, so he's athletic as hell. He's probably going to end up being D2. But if you don't have that and you don't have that experience and you don't have a lock or a scout who's in your corner, then what do? You gonna keep telling the kid to go to Division I? You gonna keep telling the kid, you know what I mean? Like for us, I don't have a problem telling the kid straight up, like, yo, if you can't get this down, this is where you're probably gonna land, this area. You know what I mean? Like if you don't get this is what's gonna happen to you. But I also had that experience of 3 or 4 years and people that I can reach out to and say, yo, what do you think this, where do you think this, how good do you think this kid is? If you don't have that, then what do you do?
Well, you talking about a high school coach, an AAU coach? You talking about a parent?
Anybody. It can be an AAU coach. It can be a parent. It can be
there are some high school coaches that are deceived as well. So yeah. I think what you're talking about.
I mean, I have 3 or 4 kids right now that probably have 40+ inch verticals, and I lie to you not. These dudes can do windmills. They can go between their legs. They can do 360s. But sometimes when it comes to knocking down an open jumper, it's a second guess. You know what I mean? Like, do I want to shoot it? Do I want to shoot it this time, or do I want to shoot it next time? Right.
Well, I think as a parent, and again, I don't have a kid, but you have to have a relationship with all 3. Like Cam said, that has to be a circle of trust. And a circle of trust doesn't just come when things are going good. It's when things are going bad. So as a high school coach, my job is to sit down with the kid and his family before they get into their senior year. Hey, what's your A choices? Where do you want to go to school? And the kid can tell me, I want to go to Duke, North Carolina.
They're going to say North Carolina.
So, and my job is to say, listen, son, that's pie in the sky. So let's go to B. Where do we legitimately have a chance to go? Where are your offers right now? So we look at the offers. Here's what I see. Then I go to C. This is where I think you can play out of my eyes. But I should have already talked to his AAU coach. I should have talked to his trainer, because we should all be in it together. Because I should be able to get on the phone with his AAU coach and say, hey, what's going on with him during the live period, when there was a live period, instead of a live stream period, as I call it now. During the live period, say, hey, what's going on? Who have you talked to? Who reached out to you? Or I can get to the trainer when he's training with the trainer and say, hey, what has he been working on? Or the trainer asks me, hey, coach, what do you want him to work on? Those are the kind of things that have to be in that circle of trust, so we can put a kid and his family in the right spot, meaning a school that has his major, a school that's looking out for him 40 years from now than just 4 years from now.
I mean, a parent got to put their kid in the right situations. And as a parent, I can't always look for the sexiest product for my kid. I can't want them to go to all the shoe teams because that's the sexiness right there. And they're telling me that they're going to get them a scholarship. Because, like, you could go play. Look at Ja Morant. He got found in the back of a gym, and a lot of people didn't know until his story came out that he was playing with Zion and them for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like he was unheard of. So, as a parent, you got to find out the right things. And it's like I tell a kid on a visit, man. Like when you go on a college visit, man, make sure you talk to all 11 of them guys on that team, or 12, and all of them. Talk to all of them.
When no coaches are around.
No coaches are around. And then make sure you talk to the coaches. And then even reach out to a kid on, like, you see a kid on campus and just, hey, what's going on? Like, what do you, like, get everything. Because I think Locke said a couple weeks on y'all show, said it best. If they didn't have athletics at this program, what are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. So that's for the parents. For the high school coaches, they got to be real with their kids. And the AAU programs, everybody, all the adults, got to be real with your kids. Because, like, I can say for me, Bryce, when I was coaching at the high school level, and I'm a realist, I told kids everything. Everything on how they needed to move forward. And I just told them stuff. So that made them like, oh, he's a realist. And when it comes down to it, I'm going to now understand in 10 years down the line that Coach Cam was being real with me instead of lying to him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. My thing on all this, and I'm glad you guys brought me on, was that, like, we all got to get on the same page for basketball. Because, like, some of the stuff I saw this weekend, man, we letting this game go, man, us adults. And, like, we're bending over backwards to appease everybody else but this game, because all of us love this game of basketball. And I'm going to leave y'all with this before I go. Have us on this right here are some of the reason to blame for that. Because what do we do? When we were coming up, all 5 of us, who do we play against? Adults, right?
Yeah.
Neighborhood kids.
Neighborhood kids. But if you want to go get better, you found a gym to go play with some adults, right?
Right.
Hey, with older kids, yeah.
And older kids. So you had to learn how to play defense. You had to learn how to rebound. You had to learn how to pass. You had to learn how to score when you had to score. Because I wanted to stay on the floor, because if I lost, I'm off for ain't no telling how long.
3 hours later.
Yeah, 3 hours later. Now, when you ride around parks and you go to gyms, how many adults are in there playing with the kids?
Well,
Not many.
They're not playing with them anymore. They're advising them or training them on what they should be doing.
Yeah, but we're also not playing with them, showing them how to play. Like if it's
I think the people that would have been playing with them have now become the ones that are training. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No.
you see what I'm saying?
I think what it is.
I mean, when I train, I try and get some kind of gameplay in there, whether it's 2-on-2, 1-on-1, like something, because you got to learn how to play this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Parents don't take kids out to
the park
in the neighborhood or whatever like this. Drop them off. Like my dad used to drop me off at the gym at 13 and told me, fend for yourself. Like if you don't get on the floor, that's your fault, because you're not doing something right.
I don't know if it. Yeah, I think those days are over with, to be honest. I think those days are over with where we went to the playground, you spent 3 or 4 hours out there and you was getting it in. And that's where I learned how to play the game for the most part. You know what I mean? Like that's where I really learn how to play, learn how to handle the ball, crossover, all that stuff I learned outside.
I think that hints to a larger issue though, Bryce, when we talk about those runs outside, because strategically that has been taken away. Right, as far as city budgets, we don't invest money into parks and recreation centers. A lot of the basketball courts have been taken away and turned into tennis courts in neighborhoods where nobody is playing tennis. And then in the communities where there are basketball courts, man, they'll run you out of there in a heartbeat, man. Like, they don't want kids out there, really playing like that anymore. And to me, that was strategic. And I don't necessarily put that on the kids. I think it is a community problem that we need to solve for our communities. But I think that if we put courts up and we made that investment into the parks and recreation center, that kids will want to go play because that's what they want to do.
But my
thing is this: like, parents, stop living your dreams through your kid. Let these kids be kids. Because they're not getting paid. And trust me, I've seen a lot of kids get burnt out from parents living through their kids and making them train 3 times a day and making them play all these weekends and everything else like this. Like, if one thing we can learn a page out of the European rules, out of the European book. Why do you think the Europeans are taking over this game right now? Because they go in the morning for skill and development, just dribbling and passing. Then they go to shoot. Then they play. So they are killing us on that because all we do is play. We roll the ball out and let our kids do whatever. But our parents and our adults are also trying to live, or we try and get close to a top 25 kid. And that's our kid. And this is our way to make it. All right. And us as adults, everybody in this basketball world, this is my last thing I'm going to say. And I plead to all you guys and ladies, everybody in the adult world. If we all about the kids, let's all start being about the kids. Let's all stop sending hits to other people or jabs trying to make them look smaller or bring their business down or bring them down. Man, I'm about uplifting. And if we're going to uplift this game moving forward, we all got to either do it together. And if you're going to be one of them people who's stabbing or trying to hug on to kids, and when this kid has a bad weekend, you pushing them out to go on to this next kid, or you tweeting a guy like Lot worrying about rankings, man, bump all that.
Mm-hmm.
Be about this game of basketball. And if you really love this game of basketball, it'll show. Am I lying? Like, if you really love this game and you about this game, you're going to be forever.
Yeah.
Love on this game, because this game brought me so much. And like I tell people all the time, when I walk inside them 4 lines, unless you're on my team, I don't see anybody else. Like, I'm going to play for my team. I'm going to bust my butt for my team. And then when we're done, it's like whatever. Like, hey, I can go shake this kid hand or whatever like this. If my dad is mad at this kid, why are you mad at him? We don't even really know him. Like, it's good. If this kid's ranked 5th and I'm not ranked at all, I'm going to go on the court and try and bust his butt. And if he gets at me or he shakes me and the crowd go oohs and ah, like who cares? It's basketball. People are made to fall. People are made to get dunked on. People are made to have highlights. People are made to be broken, who are 5 stars, cannot even be playing in the league. People who don't have no stars and just hooping outside of the gym, not playing with an AAU team, not having a parent who's supporting them, they can be in the NBA. That's why I called Dre today, like, man, dog, let me talk for a couple minutes because I'm mad at this world of adults in this game.
And I had a similar type of rant a couple of weeks ago where I felt like people were just getting out of hand with the tweets, like you said, and it's giving everybody the outlet to be a basketball critic or whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it.
On the other hand of it, though, it's a lot of people who self-anoint them to everything. A lot of adults.
So that's what I was going to ask. People, I've seen like fake Twitter accounts where people are tweeting and saying, well, what makes you so and so? Who gives you the right to say that this person is that? Is this good? Who gives Dante Loxway the right to be Loxway? So, I mean, it's good that you kind of came on here because it has gotten out of hand. But with anything else, it comes with experience. Like, if Locke knows a kid belongs at a certain level and that kid ends up going to that certain level, that's how he gets that experience under his belt. That's how he becomes that, you know what I mean?
And then this too, Bryce. Why? And I'm just hearing this because like I talk to a lot of people and I got a lot of people I talk to, and some people I don't even like tell. And I'm talking about like high major Division I coaches all the way down to AAU coaches who nobody really respects. Why are, like parents at these games counting shots of other kids or so like?
Whoa, what?
No, let me keep going.
Yes.
Why are they doing that?
Yes.
Why are they telling their kid, well, such and such got all these offers going on. You better start, you better start doing that. And I'm gonna keep it with y'all. If y'all watched that game last night, I'm swearing somebody in Kuzma's ear because every time Dion Waiters was open, that man no-looked him. That man came down the fast break one time and no-looked LeBron and missed the layup. But that's what we as adults are doing. It's creep, like Penny said. What did he tell y'all about the
Sniper series?
Sniper
Series.
It is so much of that, and there are so much like instead of playing the game the right way. Because listen, if your son or daughter is averaging 25 or 30 on their AAU team, and they're averaging 25 or 30 in their high school team, do you think their freshman and sophomore year they're going to average 25 and 30? They go high major?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
They're back at the bottom of the barrel. They're back at the bottom of the barrel.
You think you're going to sit behind Duke's bench and tell Krzyzewski, my son better touch the ball next possession? Man, your son be playing in Wisconsin somewhere.
I think the points you just made makes it very difficult, or even not difficult, but it makes it harder to coach nowadays because you're trying to get a group of young guys to buy into what you're teaching, to do something, to be successful. But you have so many outside forces that are pulling and tugging, and it's just like, how can I get somebody to buy in when it's constantly?
But look though, Bryce, the ones the AAU coaches and the high school coaches are doing that are like having a closed practice and holding kids accountable. Guess what they're doing? At the end of the day, a lot of the parents want their kids to come play for you.
Right.
I've had parents before, just like when Huff coached at our organization last year, I've had parents from other teams walk up to me like, man, your coach held the kids accountable and y'all was running stuff and he made them do it. We got to come play for y'all soon. At the end of the day, they're going to respect you. And if a parent or a kid doesn't want to conform to what you have going on, that's the problem we have as adults. We're letting everybody else run this game.
That's true. That's true. Cam, we got to get moving, bud. Well, I want to show some highlights, and we're going to get to some of the rest of the stuff that happened, man. But hell of a way to start the show, brother. I appreciate you coming in off the bench and coming in and dropping 30 in the first half, bro.
Man, I love it. I love it, man. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Appreciate it, Cam.
Thank you, Cam.
All right, man.
Cam 100% right, bro. On a lot of that.
All facts. All facts.
On a lot of that. On a lot of that. So many different points that we can go to and touch on. I will speak to one thing from a parent perspective. Parents, when it comes to trying to, and Coach Huff and those guys are right, like you got to be realistic about your kid and your kid's abilities and where they should play and what level they should play. And a lot of that, to me, I feel like we're fortunate. If you live in Metro Atlanta, you have a lot of examples to look at from guys that have come before you, and not, you don't have to go way back to get those examples. You have year after year after year after year after year of guys that go high major and then perform well at the high major level, guys that went high major and maybe selected the wrong school and didn't play so well. You get a chance, if you follow this thing, to see, you know, where did they land? Did they transfer? Why did they transfer? There's so many people with so much knowledge that as a parent, if you utilize the resources that are available to you and you trust the resources that are available to you, you can get a good solid gauge for where your kid is, right? Like if you're, I'll always say, Huff, that if you're a guard that's 6 foot and under, I'm comparing you to Jared Harper. To me, it's a great.
That's all who you have to compare him to. Like,
Well, no, I agree. I'm saying at the top end. I'm saying at the top end of it to say, is my kid a pro? Is he high? Is he high major? Is he this? Well, okay, you take that Jared Harper perspective and say, are you this or no? And if you can honestly look at it and say, no, we're not making the same plays as that kid was. Okay, well, then what's the next tier down under that?
Well, I'm gonna just keep it 100. Like I hate the comparison parts. Period. I mean, there's sometimes you can look at a kid and say his body type is this, or because he's small, let's compare him to this. But like, even to say, man, is he performing at the level of Jared Harper? Because 2-3 years ago, there were people that were saying he wasn't a pro. So let's keep it 100. Like
for sure. But I'm saying that's a gauge of somebody who not only went high major, but might have ended up as the best point guard at his school's history. Right. So
but I think that all goes to the fit. So to me, it goes back to knowing where you can go, who's gonna put you in. We talked about it on the telecast yesterday during the Who Got the Smoke tournament. If you're a big man, which there are far few in between these days, you better pick the right school and know who's going to get you better as a big man.
100%.
As a big man, and you might get lost.
And I'm only saying, if we don't understand basketball history in Georgia, if we don't look at that and understand how to consume that, then you're doomed to repeat it. If you can't look at the next man's mistakes and take anything away from that and learn from that and say, oh man, this kid did this, or this family handled this guy. They went to 4 schools in 4 years, and now he went to college and he's gone to 3 schools in 3 years. Like, I don't want to do that. If you can't learn from somebody else's mistakes, then to me, you're going to be doomed to repeat them.
Back.
We saw some good basketball, man. I don't want all of this to overshadow what we did see. If we want to talk about the Who Want to Smoke tournament, I would love to start the conversation with basketball, and then we can go to everything else. Or do y'all want to start with everything else and then go to basketball?
Let's start with basketball.
What's on the everything else agenda?
There are people taking shots at there are people taking shots at the Celtics. There was a in-game dunk contest that took place that we were at the event that I did not see, Huff. So I don't know if
ain't nobody make no dunk. So how could it be in-game dunk contest?
Do we want to start there? Do we want to start there? It kind of feels like we want to start there.
I mean, look, yeah, I don't know, man. I just seen the video pop up. And I was like, what the hell is that? But
we'll show it to the fans. We'll go ahead. Let's get the mess out of the way real quick. This happened. Let's talk about how we feel about it. How you feeling?
So I think I was in Alabama. I headed back from Alabama when I seen that. And the first thing I was trying to do, I was trying to find out the score of the game. And I didn't really get the score, but I heard that it was a blowout. And so I guess at the end of I think the team was down 20. And I guess it became a non-dunking contest.
Hey, none of them could even really dunk.
But I think what to me personally, after seeing that, I think now, and I wanted to say this while Cam was on the show, I wanted to ask him this: are adults becoming more of groupies?
Can we get into it, please? Can we?
Let's go. Let's go. We here now. We here now. Adult groupies. Let's talk about it. We here.
I just think
we here. Hold on, wait. All right, go ahead.
There's a lot of sacks chasing out here.
Yeah, we becoming groupies of players.
Did you say sack chasing, Bryce?
Remember she said that on Friday. Remember Day said that on Friday. It's a lot of that going on nowadays.
A lot of sack chasing. Okay. All right, Bryce, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. Clear out.
No, I've been saying it for years, but now
he has been saying it for a long time. Yeah,
it's just getting worse and worse, and I just think we be so excited. At first, I know when I first got into it, I wouldn't even say I was a Jaylen Brown groupie, but I was just excited to see him play. But you knew he was going to play the right way. You became a fan. So you went to all his games. So now we got kids who are not playing the right way. And then instead of becoming a fan, the adults are becoming groupies. Like I seen a tweet say that, watch all the adults, run to that gym to watch them play. I don't think they actually just came to watch the kid play. They just want to see all the extra stuff that the kid is doing, instead of just watching them actually play and putting in that work. They want to just see the dunks. I want to be at that tournament because I actually wanted to watch certain kids actually play. See it from face to face. But I just think when kids on that high profile, they're just coming just to show off and not actually play.
Yeah. So here's what's also happening. These kids are coming to these events, whether it's high school or AAU, and there are people that are filming these events trying to build their credibility as in media.
There were cameras
everywhere. So and I'm sure that there were kids talented in every corner of that gym in other games, but of course they're gonna watch the hottest guy. You know what I mean? What's the hottest guy in the country? So it's just creating a serious ripple effect where it's just like, yo, like
I'm gonna stick to
all I saw was a windmill. All we saw was a windmill out of all that shit.
But he's still a kid. So you can't still take that.
It's nothing towards the kid. Nothing.
Yeah, I'm talking about the adults with this.
It's the adults and the people outside of it. It's like, okay, well, you're building this up to be something, but there's a million kids that can windmill. Everybody can do everybody can do that in the game.
I want to say this to tag on what Bryce is saying. To me, not about the kids, it's about the adults. I want to keep the conversation there. Number one, Locke's all-time favorite statement is clout chasing is at an all-time high. To me, that's the real shit I've ever said. All-time
high. He has another one that we were supposed to get on some shirts. Basketball is a new dope game.
We need that.
New dope game.
We gotta get that on some shirts.
That is too soon.
But I'm saying it was about the adults, because to me, a kid is only gonna do what we allow a kid to do or what we celebrate a kid for doing. There were two coaches in this game that allowed this to happen, the winning coach and the losing coach. Because at the end of the day, if that took place during a game, you was trying to find out the score of the game, Lock. Immediately, I was trying to find out. Was this happening in regulation, or was this just happening after the game was already technically over? Because if the game was really over, then I don't necessarily have a problem with them trying to entertain. If clock's at 0, like, I'm cool. But if there was time on the clock, then the adults should be keeping those kids accountable for playing the right way. Because we tell kids all the time, whether you up 20 or down 20, coaches are still evaluating you. So we should enforce that and have kids playing that way. And Deshaun Ruffin plays more than the right. We are going to talk about it on this show, and we have highlights to back it. So, yeah, trust me on that. We're going to get there. But yet my thing is on the adults. And when you hear all of that cheering and hollering, to me, that's a lot of adults celebrating that also. We become a highlight culture more than we become good basketball culture. I think I said this, and I'm going to ride with this. Locke, you mentioned Jaylen Brown. I'm going to mention Jared Harper, Colin Sexton, Chuma, Isaac Okoro. We are used to having rock stars in Georgia basketball. We don't have rock stars like that anymore, but we're still treating people as if they're rock stars. And we shouldn't. There should be, like Dez came on here and talked about the dangling carrot, that he's going to put a carrot in front of a kid's face and say, well, oh, man, this kid was top 50. Oh, well, shoot. Okay, you made top 50. Well, I got another kid that was top 10. Oh, you made top 10? Well, I got another kid that was an Olympian. You know what I mean? Where a kid never makes it. He never arrives because Dez will just raise the level of expectation for a kid. And sometimes instead of raising that level of expectation right now, we telling them that they shit don't stink. And you seeing kids come in from out of town, come in and play hard and bust their ass. When we're not used to seeing that happen. To me, that's just my opinion. To me, I think what the Celtics did as far as bringing those teams in was dope, because
that was good.
Wanted to see them play great competition, and they was playing against some killers. We're gonna show the highlights. Like, they wasn't playing against no bums. They was playing killers.
Another thing, I'll speak on that. I was talking to someone trying to explain to them their teams wasn't playing this weekend. First of all. Second thing, if a top kid come to ask to play on your team, are you going to tell him no? You got a top 25 kid. He said, hey, coach, I want to come play with you this weekend. Would y'all tell him no?
If I'm the Celtics, you're the only team that can tell top kids no. The Celtics don't necessarily need anybody.
True, but would you? Like, if he wants to play with you this particular weekend, and he's a top 10, top 15 kid, because that's why I think a lot of people didn't see people that was tweeting against the Celtics, like why they brought this kid in. They weren't playing this weekend. And they wanted to play. So they reached out to the Celtics. I'm not going to say no. If you want to come rock out.
Well, let me ask this. Did bringing in, because this was the conversation in the gym, did bringing in new kids cost them the game? I think it did.
Probably so. The team, I feel like they should have had, the team that was at the Tip-Off Classic that played against YRN, that's the team I wouldn't mind seeing in the tournament.
So we got to talk about it. Like, there was no LJ Thomas,
who would have helped them a lot on defense, because they could not contain those guards on MP Force.
They hadn't played in 3 weeks.
True.
And as good as any kid may be, to me, this is my personal opinion. What was the statement we used to read at the beginning of the show? We're in the studio. All opinions expressed by the love of the game. This is my opinion, right? As good as a kid may be, the Celtics were so good because they had chemistry. He has knew when to take shots, when not to take shots. And this weekend or this Saturday, because it was only a one-day showcase, that wasn't the case. And that's not a knock on the kid. It's very difficult, especially when you haven't played in 3 weeks, for everything to be clicking, plus the addition of new guy. And a loss of another key guy.
And I don't have a dog in the fight, so I ain't mad at it. At the end of the day, basketball is entertainment. But would we have seen a better game or a closer game if the Celtics would have brought their original team? I believe that to be true. I'm not saying that they would have won. I'm not saying
let's not disrespect the teams that beat them now.
100%.
That's the play.
They were good.
And they were too talented. And I want to make sure that we understand this. MP Force is as talented of a basketball team as anybody, dog. Like, they got high major offers all the way up and down that roster, bro.
But they also got guys who got high major offers, like the Tucker kid, who's going to Texas Tech, who had no stars when Texas Tech offered him. Parents and players out there listening, who now is a whatever star player. But like, you got to understand that you got an Ole Miss commit, you got a Texas Tech commit, you got two other guys on that team who got multiple high major offers. I mean, one of the guys, when we found out, we didn't even realize he had all those offers until we looked him up.
100%. It was a great event. It was a great time. I'm trying to queue up some highlights here. Give me 1 second. And we'll get some highlights from the game and talk about some of the kids that we saw. Because what I don't want this to turn into a conversation that excludes the fact that we saw great basketball that weekend. And we saw some kids really make a name for themselves that weekend. We saw some teams really play the right way. Game Elite, I'm talking about you guys. Game Elite, that Coach Terra team with Game Elite played great.
What age group was that?
And Caleb Clinton is a hooper. I don't want to get away from the fact that we saw really good basketball. So let's get to some highlights. Let's talk about some players. This is highlights of the Atlanta Celtics MP Force game.
I want to see how the Celtics adjust to the physicality of Mr. Ruffin, who you just saw get the first 2 points, and second 2 points, and Jalen Tyson, number 20, for this MP Force team. A turnover. That's what we say. We don't have a live period this summer, but we have a live stream period. Good pass by Rice to Cleveland with the dunk. Dynamic at all these positions. Pin down action here.
Oh,
Nice. It's so good. He's so good.
Play well all day. Trust in your eyes. Knowing what played, what worked for your team. Ruffin. Three. I know. I was. That's why I said, I was not expecting that. And nice. Rice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pull up. Oh, damn.
Whoa.
Say my name.
Whoa.
Horn said again, but turn it over.
Oh!
On his head.
Shit.
Jalen Tyson. Welcome to Georgia, young fella. Can we get the watch ahead replay? Ball floor. Three, no good. And Trey Alexander will push.
Damn.
Alexander for 3. If he can consistently make that. Steve Davidson on the push. Scary. Good pass. Oh, wow. Oh, that is a great pass where Ronnie Hamilton is smiling ear to ear. Yes, he is. Under 30. Do we get one shot? No.
Oh my God.
Get a pull up and a pick.
He was not bullshitting, dog.
These kids are superstitious.
Oh my.
Oh, wow. Trey Alexander with the 10, no good. Blocked by Cleveland.
Hey man, we saw some good basketball, bro.
Deshaun Ruffin, Ronnie Hamilton, Kermit Davis.
Good get, dog. Good get.
And not just because he can score dynamically, but he made his teammates better too.
100%. Play defense, bro.
His defense, he passes the ball. Like Locke and Bryce, it was. So he comes out, he scores like the first 4-6 points of the game. So they put Miles Rice on him, and they really try to deny him the basketball. So they put him in the corner. And it's okay because you got another dude on that team in Trey Alexander who's got high major offers who now can do the same thing, except he's just longer and taller.
I got to give Miles Rice some credit. Whoever he was defending, I'm not gonna say was strapped up, but was having a tough time. But he can't guard all three of them. He can't guard Deshaun Ruffin, Trey Alexander, and Jalen Tyson. You had to pick your poison. And then once he fouled out, shit.
And then another thing that MP Force did is they got real physical with one time Matthew Cleveland gets it looks like a breakaway dunk, and they weren't letting him dunk. They put him on his ass.
Gave up a foul.
In the AAU game.
They did. They gave up a hard foul and
they were physical with Jabari.
Yeah. They played incredible basketball. I don't know which one of those kids that I liked the most. Deshaun Ruffin was great, but that Trey Alexander boy, 6'4", 6'5", bro. Hey man,
if he can consistently get that jump shot down, woo.
Hey, like it ain't every day that we big up light skinned guards on this show, dog. He can hoop. He can hoop, bro. Like, so when I seen he had a Memphis offer, you know what I'm saying? Like, those offers are well deserved. That kid can play. Same thing with Jalen Tyson. Like, you talking about dudes that can flat out hoop. And 100% with you, Reggie. Not a lot of a whole lot of razzle dazzle. Like, yes, sir.
They were so interchangeable. Like I said, if Deshaun wasn't bringing the ball up, and they put him in a corner, Trey would bring it up, and they would run this action that came right off the high post, and they had so many things they could do with it. They knew how to get the Tyson kid shots where he wanted to get his shots at. They were ready to play. They played hard. They didn't, like I said, who's coming up here to lose? Nobody.
No, certainly not them. I do want to talk about somebody that may be what I thought the best prospect in the event.
Are we talking about who I think we're talking about?
Yes, we are.
Please tell me you have highlights of this.
Fam, not many, but we got a couple. Shout out to Chris Watkins, Southern Hoops Report, On the Radar players, what they calling that now? Players playbook, players recruiting playbook. My bad. Josh Minot is 6'8".
Yeah,
That motherfucker.
Hey, he was
Hey,
scared.
dog.
He was scared. Hey, so I was coaching this weekend with the Canes. I'm getting text messages about this kid
Bro,
during the game.
we saw it live and in person, live.
Oh,
we talk about one thing before I show us highlights, because we only got a couple of plays. We talk about all the time that if you want to be high major, you got to play high major, which means when we watch you, we expect to see you do everything, not just score points.
Yep.
Like, we expect you to look like you don't belong out there with everybody else. And this kid was looking like an alien.
I mean, we saw the kid bring the ball up multiple times as the point guard. We saw the kid get rebound after rebound. We saw the kid have 8 blocks in a game. We saw the kid throw the ball away on a turnover, sprint back by himself, and challenge the guy to block a dunk at the rim.
Pinpoint passes, not just I can dribble it up, but I'm talking about in transition, dropping dropping dimes, dog. Like this dude, he was on another level. I would have loved to see him in that MP Force Atlanta Celtics game. Like he was on another level. He was on another level. I do want to show his plays real quick because this was great. And again, shout out to Julio for bringing these guys down and allowing us to have this experience of being able to see this kid. This is my first time ever seeing him.
Dude. And he's mean.
Hey. Bro.
Hey, is this the kid that caught the lob off the backboard?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes.
They got one. Be tough.
Bro, he's nice. Like,
Hey.
Nice.
Ooh.
Josh Reynolds, certified gangster.
That's
Yes,
why
he
his top 5 goals: Memphis, Florida State, Texas. Who were the other 2?
Hey man. Hey Huff, what I tell you as soon as we seen this kid and we saw that he had a Florida State offer, oh, we gotta call CY right now, dog. Drop everything, dog. Camp outside of this kid's house. Do whatever you gotta do. March around this kid's crib like Dave if you got to, bro. You gotta get this kid to Florida State. That kid is.
But I think all those teams that's on that list are saying the same thing, though.
Right. Is he 2021? I missed that part.
Yes.
Whoa. So he came out of nowhere, kind of, sort of.
Buddy.
I can see him playing at Memphis, though.
I can see him playing wherever he wants.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with Drake.
Shit. Hey, I just know that if I'm recruiting that kid, dog, like I said, dog, I'm camped out in front of the crib. You need to ride to school today? Well, I guess you can't do that, but whatever is legal, I'll be doing whatever is legal. You getting a good morning text every morning.
I've seen a lot, and I hate to interrupt you guys, but I've seen a lot from a particular kid, and I'm losing my train of thought right now. I'm about to find his name. I think he just picked up some high major offers too. He go to Parkview, right?
Miles Kelly.
Yes.
Miles Kelly.
Yes. He dropped 40 ball, right?
Huh?
He went for 40, right? And
no, well, not in the game we had him in.
Not in the game I saw. No.
Got you.
So I don't know if that's being put out there, but unless it was a different game.
Now, for his credit, the game that we saw, he was playing against Josh Minot.
He put up 22. He put up 22, I think it was that game.
22 is enough. 22 is enough. That's a good number. It's a good number.
They got beat by 30, though.
Yeah. I mean, they played T. Parsons. That's an Adidas sponsored team, right?
See,
was it Team Parsons? What team does that kid play on? The Josh Minot kid. He
plays on
Team Parsons. He plays for Team Parsons.
Team Parsons, yeah.
You playing a high level Adidas team versus an independent team. They might have some size or something. I don't know.
That don't mean that. They gotta come play.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care who you are. You just gotta come play.
Gotta come play.
Yeah. Look. We're not gonna get into that debate today. I'm just saying, yes, you always gotta come play. But I mean, if I'm in the team, I should win.
We got David Dickerson in here, and he says, "Sir Dre, per our conversations, does he go to HBU route like you were saying at first?" He doesn't. He doesn't. Josh Minot. He doesn't have a HBCU in his top 5, but I would be happy with him going to Florida State. Go play for Leonard Hamilton, big dog. We can't hear you, Bryce.
Nah, I ain't saying anything.
I'm cool with him playing for Leonard Hamilton. If he had a HBCU in his top 5, or if I knew he had HBCU offers, then I would base that conversation based on who offered him.
I'm gonna ask you a real question, Mondre.
Yes.
Does it matter what HBCU?
Yes.
So it's not the HBCU narrative then. It's the who's the coach narrative.
Well, there are things, as I've learned, that there are things.
He said he's talking Mikey Williams.
Oh, he's talking about Mikey Williams. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But for this Josh Minot kid and kids of his ilk, right? We're talking about rock stars. There are things that I have learned that you have to be able to do for kids at that level, like be able to help direct that child to get a insurance policy to cover them if they get hurt, which is why I think the G League is going to be a much more attractive offer on top of the $500,000 that kids are going to be getting to go to the G League. Being able to ensure that kid to make sure that they're going to be able to lock in and secure a certain amount of money no matter what happens to them isn't something that can be, I'm not going to say isn't something that can be done by anybody, but there may be schools who aren't willing to do that. And if you aren't willing to secure that type of insurance policy for a kid like Josh Minot, then you're probably not going to get him because you're asking him to take all the risk, or asking him and his family to take all the risk if something were to happen to him. So that is a real life thing that happens, and a detail. And yeah, that's part of the details that we talked about that I got schooled on to understand. And I think that's perfectly fair to expect. Also there are some players, like a Zion Williams, for instance, that went to Duke because, hey, there are some training things as far as athletic training and those things that need to be secured for those level of athletes as well. So I think if you could do it, then you should do it. And all things being equal, I'd love to see it. I can't really answer necessarily about Mikey Williams going the HBCU route because I only got to see him play from afar. So I can tell you what I heard, but I can't tell you what I know because I'm watching him play from one court away while calling another game. So it wouldn't really be fair for me.
Let's ask the question that we really want to know. Let's ask the question that we really want to know. How good is Mikey Williams?
I can't say.
I ain't seen him.
I watched him from one court away while calling another game, man. I can't, I can't speak on it. I could tell what people told me. There were a lot of people who were disappointed in what they saw, but I can't speak on that because I didn't watch him.
Yeah, I didn't.
I wanted to. He
either,
wasn't on my court.
but I'm gonna have to go back on SUV and watch it. But just from watching the OST highlights, he has some ability. He does have that. He does have the athleticism. I see some of the moves he was doing. I just want to watch him the entire game. And one thing that I really want to watch is he going to compete the entire game? Or is he just going to play to win? I don't want to see a show. I want to see you compete and play to win.
For sure.
So that's something that I'm big on from him. If he ever comes back to Georgia or gets somewhere close to Georgia, I want to see if he's really going to compete and try to win instead of try to put on the show. Like, if you're gonna put on the show, you need to get a win and show people this is why I'm this dude. This is why I got 3 million followers, not just because I can dunk. I'm one of the top guards in the nation. I'm finna show you why I'm one of the top guards in the nation.
I think that's something though that a lot of kids when they come here aren't expecting from Georgia fans. Like, we have a certain level of expectation that may be different than when you go somewhere else and play, because we've seen a lot of high level players come through here.
Hey, we're hard on kids. Like you said, the Jaylen Browns, the Colin Sextons, the Sharif Coopers, the Ant-Mans. So it's like, if you're a top dude, you have to come prove it. And you don't prove it with highlight dunks. You prove it by playing the game, competing, showing these guys like, okay, I see why you're this dude.
No doubt. And I agree. You got to win, bro. We seen a lot of dudes come from out of town and we be hard on them because you got smacked. You got your points or whatever. I think when it comes to even Miles Kelly, like, you know, he got 22, but like Huff said, like, me and Huff watched the game. We were calling the game. They lost. So it's hard for us to give you that shine, and especially when the game wasn't close, you know. It's hard for us to kind of give you that shine. And I think we are hard on kids in that way. Like, we expect to see a certain level of competition. We expect to see, we expect to see the game be played a certain way, and there are a lot of people who celebrate a lot of things, but, we expect what we expect because we've seen so much from some of these guys at times.
Yeah, if you're that dude, you got to come to Georgia and prove it. Like, if you come to Georgia,
you got to go anywhere and prove. You just got to be competitive, man. Don't just step on the court and go through the motions or whatever.
All the time, especially here, man. Like, I can't speak for everywhere else, but that ain't gonna fly.
I wish Team YRN played this weekend.
They would have been a great addition to that.
I wish they would have played. Like, that would have been good because outside the Celtics, they have been the second best team in the state, in my opinion.
They have. I would have loved to see them play MP Force as well because of that three-headed monster at guard that they have. To watch them go up against that MP Force team would have been great. I want to watch MP Force play some more, man. Like, I love that. And look, the trash talking aside, to me, like, I'm even cool with some of that. Like, I'm cool with Team Breakdown talking trash because Team Breakdown is going to come here and play. Every year, they're coming up here to go play. So if you're willing to put it out there on the floor, then I'm okay with certain guys being able to talk trash. Like, to me, it's just part of it. I did want to show one more kid, man, before we move on to another topic. I'll save it for the end of the show. We can move on. Caleb Clinton is a hooper.
Why don't you just show him?
Oh, yeah, out of South Carolina.
Caleb Clinton is a hooper, bro.
Man, show him now, man. I like that kid, man.
So I have school ball highlights. I don't have highlights from
That's the kid that played with Game Elite also, right?
Yeah, he played with Game Elite, and he had a great weekend. I think he's a Charleston Southern commit. I'll show some of his plays real quick. Hey man, his highlights go on and on. Not a whole lot of flash, but a whole lot of making the right play. And that kid almost had a triple double in the game that we watched. Off of points, rebounds, and blocks.
Damn.
Let me tell you what stood out in that highlight. Like I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even watch the whole highlight, but one thing stood out. He scored the basket. They started pressing, and he was helping trap. It was a loose ball. He dived on the floor for the ball.
Lock, and I'm telling you, that's how that kid plays in an AAU game, bro.
Dude.
That shit was it was the greatest. It was the best shit. It was the best game that we saw all night. It was probably one of the best performances that we saw all night.
Dude.
That kid will help you win games.
That was a Division I commit diving on the floor. Me and Bryce couldn't get to 17 U-Canes to dive on the floor to get the ball.
Hey, I actually got down on the floor and laid on the floor by myself during the game. I sat down to demonstrate how to put your bottom on
Me
the
and Bryce
floor.
were like, what the? Y'all can't get these 50-50 balls?
Hey, that you know what's crazy? Like, I feel like when I play basketball, I love diving on the floor. Like, nigga, I'm getting that ball. Like, I'm getting the ball.
Hey, but this the thing though. We talk about these kids and we tell them they this and we tell them they that, and now they too good for it, dog. Like my team, we worked out again today or again this weekend, and on Saturday I told one of my best kids, "You play like you a 2-car garage kid," and he said, "I am." I said, "It's okay to be that, but you can't play like that. You can't play like everything is gonna be okay no matter what when you get home, bro." Like
I have on this team, I have just about every height size from 5'7" on up to 6'10". And the people, you would think that the people who were like above 6'4", 6'5" wouldn't dive on the floor. Well, they don't dive on the floor either. But shit, some of the smaller ones don't dive on the floor either. So I'm like, what? You're closer. Like, what are you doing? Like,
don't want to win. Don't want to win enough, man. To me,
and I know it has nothing to do with your height. I know, I get it. I know. I'm just saying, like.
Well, I'll move on. I won't even go there. I do want to let's show this since we're talking about effort. We saw this play happen this week, and I want to get y'all thoughts.
Here go the Clippers down by 2. Kawhi's got it. You see the clock. LeBron on Kawhi. Down to 4. Here's George. He's way outside. A lunging 3. No. Rebound. Caruso. That's it. Lakers have won.
Year 17, best player in the world. LeBron still locking up, and we can't get kids with no offers to play defense. What's happening?
It's a will thing, dog. It's a will. You gotta want to play defense. You gotta have, and you know what's funny? When some kids who are playing defense, they are having fun doing it because they're getting turnovers, and that's how they're getting their points. You got a lot of kids who cannot score offensively in half-court settings, so they have to score in transition, getting steals, getting running down the floor, getting easy layups. That's how they're gonna get their points. So kids just gonna have to. I don't know.
So
you a coach.
We're gonna keep it,
how you make defense.
We're gonna keep it real. Like nobody's tweeting about you playing defense. So a lot of these kids don't want to play defense because nobody's talking about it. But if you want to play at the next level, you better play defense. If you want college coaches to really lock into you, you need to play both ends of the floor, not just the offensive end of the floor. But a lot of kids don't want to do that.
100%. Hey, man, I just feel like the best players that we saw this weekend, and we said it over and over again, were the guys who helped their team win in multiple ways. You talk about Josh Minot, blocks, rebounds, assists, effort plays, hustle plays. You talk about Caleb Clinton, blocks, rebounds, assists, effort plays, hustle plays. You talk about the three-headed monster from MP Force, Deshaun Ruffin, Jalen Taylor, and Trey Alexander. You talking about kids who rebound from the guard position and lock up on defense. Like, those were the best kids that we saw. It wasn't just about points. Like, and the reason why Miles Rice is getting so much love from this weekend,
because but it ain't just from this weekend. It's period.
The whole
every weekend.
Effort level
every weekend.
And I think we just gotta talk about some of the best players in the league. You know, I told you I listened to Kenny Smith on Ray Lewis's podcast, and he talked about why Michael Jordan and Akeem Olajuwon were just different. Because not only would they go out and say, I'm going to score 40 on you, they said, you ain't going to score more than 10. He said that's what made them different. Like, they wanted to lock up and play defense. There are a lot of guys who want to score 40 but say, oh, I'll let you score 42. It's cool.
Hey, I think this could be a thing. Anoint some kid the best defensive player in Georgia. Let's make it popular. Hey, Miles Rice, Jalen Deloach. Those are two guys that immediately pop in my head when we talk about guys that play great defense.
I told people there were two reasons why McEachern was really good. That you could say as good as Sharif was.
Isaac Okoro locking up everything 1 through 4.
Hold on. I'm gonna make it more than that. Stretch. They could turn everything over and Stretch was gonna clean it up.
Facts.
Clean it up, yeah.
That's facts. Isaac Okoro locking up 1 through 4 though. Whoever your best player was 1 through 4, he locking that up. Lock, who you think? Jalen Deloach, Miles Rice, who else popping to your mind? Isaac Abide, who's the best defensive player?
I've seen Travis Burrs play some pretty good on ball.
Travis,
I'll put Travis in that conversation.
I just personally love when kids take the challenge, accept the challenge that they want to guard somebody, and just like get up in them. You know what I mean? Like,
Bryce, you got a kid on your team who just got the 3 steals.
Yeah, Jameer Wingfield, he's pretty tough physically on defense.
And I'm not saying this because he got steals.
One yay from Kale High School that played with Hype House can defend his ass off. One yay, he defends also.
But sometimes that's a misleading barometer of who plays defense.
What?
Steals.
Oh yeah, because you can cheat.
Yeah,
you can cheat and still not play good defense and get and give up.
Because I'll tell you right now, my dude who plays football, Landon Cartier, is one of the best defensive dudes out there now.
You have to be in order to be good defensively, you have to be disciplined too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't. A lot of kids aren't disciplined in just sitting down and moving your feet, beating your guy to a spot and making him turn and so on and so forth, and not getting a steal every time is not going to happen. A lot of kids aren't like that. They're not disciplined, not understanding how far over to rotate or over rotating. You know what I mean? So what happened?
Hey, Lock is terrible. Lock is terrible. Let's make that a thing, man. I want to talk more about guys playing defense and being a defender. I mean, we have kind of talked about that. We've given players a lot of credit for that in the past, but man, let's narrow it down. If we had to give out a Defensive Player of the Year award for Georgia, I want to walk into this season that may or may not happen saying that that's an award that we're going to give out as a podcast.
I'm cool with that.
Man, we're going to have to watch.
You have to watch. You have to watch some games.
Man, it's some shot blockers out here too, man.
Yeah.
There's some kids that going to defend, protect the rim.
I think that's going to be harder in high school because in high school coaches are going to really teach and have the time to teach and teach them to rotate. So it's going to be hard to find in high school because I think the guys
that do it will stand out. I think the guys that
They should. I'm just saying it's going to be harder
Now-
to find in AAU because high school they can go over that stuff every single day.
Now, this past season, one of my guys I would have put was Tyler Johnson from Cedar Shows.
I'm
He
giving
would've
it
been-
to Iman.
You giving it to who?
To Iman.
Iman.
Iman did everything, boy. Goodness gracious.
I'm giving it to Tyler because Tyler made the state.
I like that comment. Jared Ivory was good for North Tech.
Jared Harvey was very good. Very good. Very good. We got to make that a thing in Georgia. I want to talk about one more thing, man, before we get out of here. I want to let's play good shot, bad shot. Can we start doing this every week?
Let's do it.
It
got lots of-
depends on who your coach is. It depends on who your coach is and what their coaching philosophy, if it's a good shot or a bad shot.
All
right.
No.
Y'all watch this and tell me what you think. Good shot, bad shot. Hey, I want the audience to participate with us. We got a lot of coaches, a lot of trainers, a lot of AAU guys that watch this show with us. So
Hey, hold on. How many clips? We only got one clip to show for
we're showing one clip. We're showing one clip every show. Good shot, bad shot. And I'm gonna try to make it a make every time to make it a little tougher. But let's play good shot, bad shot. I hope everybody's ready.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Participate in the comments, and you never know. We might actually bring you on the show to talk about why you feel like it's a good shot or bad shot. But participate in the comments. Let's play good shot, bad shot real quick.
A game where he had 20 points, was 4-6 from the three-point line the other night against Phoenix. He's going to be looking to put up some money.
Yeah, that Fab Rocker, though. That's definitely good music.
Good shot, bad shot.
I'm saying good shot.
I'm saying good shot. It's a make. It's a good shot. Like
And,
Oasis
and
said.
he's in the league. He's in the
All
league.
makes are good shots.
He's in the league. He's in the NBA. He's capable of making that shot. I say good shot.
See, I'm thinking you're gonna show a high school highlight.
See,
Yeah,
now
yeah,
you get to my point, Locke. So here's my point. We got to stop comparing what's a good shot, bad shot for NBA. That's the top 10% of basketball players everywhere. Bad shots for them, they can make. That's a pro. Exactly, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's a pro. Now, if we take it down to the next level, heck no, that's a bad shot, bro. That's a bad shot in high school.
So that's the
Y'all tell me I'm wrong. That's a bad shot, bro.
that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about because we have trainers, we have coaches, we have a mix of everybody. Is there a such thing that's a good shot for us one
Thank
level
you,
and a bad shot for another level?
Yes.
Yes,
In high school, that's a terrible shot.
exactly. That's what I just said. Ooh, man.
Was it the fact that the shot was terrible, or was it the fact that he held the ball for 7 seconds in triple threat?
Combination of all that, bro.
Pro level, yes. College, maybe.
Because
High
you gotta think about it like this, Bryce. He held the ball that long, and in the NBA, you can't play help side defense. Not like you can in high school and college. So
we got a couple of trainers that are in here watching. Would you train a high school kid on that move? Would you train that shot? Is that something that you would work on with a high school kid?
Every high school kid you train is not on the same level. So it depends on the level of the kid. I don't train, but I do work kids out. My kids.
Hey, I know trainers are working on that move.
Hey, you come over here.
That's the first thing I thought of.
You come over here shooting fadeaways, and you're gonna be gone the next weekend.
So Rob Allen, Cam, like I want to know what those guys think. A lot of these guys are trainers. Like we train a high school kid, sweep through behind the back. I hope they're not teaching that move.
They are.
Well, we teach, but we got trainers teaching 5 dribble combo moves
They are. Like
in one spot at that.
A 5-star, yes. So it does matter.
Hey, y'all going hard on the trainers today.
Hey, I'm just trying to see if a good shot is a good shot for everybody, and a bad shot is a bad shot for everybody? Or are we saying that it depends?
What if, so let me give you this. What if that's Colin Sexton in the corner? He does that. Is it a good shot?
Yeah,
He's a pro.
High school Colin Sexton.
In high school college Sexton.
Hillbrook Colin Sexton. That's a bad shot.
It's a bad shot.
But he can make it. So
He can make it.
But can we get a high percentage shot though? Like how many times he gonna make that shot?
Shit, probably every time.
No, I don't think that.
7 out of 10.
I don't
Hey,
agree
he
with
probably
that.
make that shit 70% of the time, bro. In high school, he could make that.
Hold on. No, he's not. No, he's not. In high school, Colin Sexton is not making that 7 out of 10 times.
Hey, Huff, now you was on the other end of some miraculous shots that he made now, Huff.
He
You
could
was
probably
on
make
the
that
other end.
shot.
Miraculous shots like that though.
He could probably make that shot 9 out of 10 at Pembroke in high school, bro. I'm sorry.
That half court shot that he made at
He
Willard.
made that one. If he's gonna make it 7 out of 10 though.
Hey. Yeah. Hey.
That's what I was saying.
Yo, I'm
That's what I
crying.
was saying.
He said I saw it all the time in the region.
Oh my
Hey.
god. He could make that shot every time he wanted to, Huff. I'm
He's
sorry.
making that shot. He made so many tough shots.
He made a lot of those
He
shots.
was bouncing the ball off his head and
No
man.
disrespect. They didn't win a championship either.
Hey.
Is that him? Is that him? Is that his-
Washington,
I want to know from Rob, because Rob trained a whole lot of high-level kids. Rob, you teaching that, bro, and who you giving that bag to?
Hey man, Rob getting a little scooter that man. A little scooter stuff.
Colin had confidence and skill. He did. Now, hey man. So, and this is why I asked this question, because now with high school getting a shot clock, that I feel like late in the clock is gonna come to some situations where you're gonna have to ask a guy when a play gets disrupted to be able to create a shot for you and save a possession. Huff, are you taking that end of the shot clock 4 seconds or less? Are you taking that?
I mean, that goes back to why it was a bad shot. If it's an inner shot clock and that's what you got to take, that's a bad shot.
But what if he makes it? Are you going? If he makes it, you
It's
still
still
take
bad. Everything just because you make a shot doesn't make it a good shot.
Okay.
It's still a
but-
bad shot.
So if he makes it, and it's still a bad shot, do you take him out?
I don't take people out for one bad shot. I take them out for continuous bad shots.
Hey, I take you out for one bad shot.
Because hopefully I've taught you enough to know what's the good and the bad shot. Like I remember Kobe Kaiser and them, they would take a bad shot and they'd look at my bad coach. I took a bad one.
Oh, Darren said he said a mouthful. Show that comment, Jerry.
I agree with Daryl, definitely. Yes. We saw it yesterday. Nobody
Yeah.
else touched the
He
ball.
made it. Did he make it or miss it?
It didn't matter. It's still a bad shot.
So you're telling me if Colin Sexton bring the ball up the floor, he make it every time. It's a bad
Huff is killing me with that, bro. Like I got tears in my eyes and everything.
Okay, so if he does, let's say he does that shot that we just saw on video 25 times.
Good shot, boy.
Hold on, look. He shoots it 25 times and only makes 7. So only the 7 are good shots.
I haven't, but I've never not seen him just only make 7 shots though. So I know like he can make like if he got that 25 times, he's gonna make it 20.
Hey man, I seen Garrison take some shots like that before now.
Huff, Cam said you let Garrison do that, bro.
And then he said, just kidding.
Oh wow.
NBA isolation, great move and shot.
Yeah, I
High
think
school-
NBA. Yeah. I think overall, yeah, high school is probably a bad shot. NBA, you gotta be able to
It is.
get that bucket in the pros. For
Right,
sure.
we seen it yesterday when the kid shot a deep 3 and it led to a fast break because it was a long miss, and it led to an easy layup.
It happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
We saw that a lot
Yeah, it happens.
in some games. I just had to get your opinion on that. I can't wait until the shot clock tortures some poor coach, and every time they get under 5, that somebody's going to jack up one.
That two for one going to eat somebody alive, boy. Do I hold it now? Do I let them shoot?
It's gonna be It's gonna be problematic.
Yeah.
Y'all should do coaching clinics this fall for people, help people to adjust with the shot clock.
Who has experience?
Right. It's a few coaches.
Sure, Coach White.
Like, it'll be great to have a coaching clinic to give guys a heads up, because I feel like me with the South Georgia coaches, they're going to need that. Some of them, not all of them, but I feel like
we tried to start it when we had Tom Crean and Mike Jones from the math on our stuff. You know, they gave a lot of situational stuff about what you could be doing.
True, y'all did.
They did, and they showed film too,
yes,
which was important. But I hope you guys do another clinic and show some examples of film of stuff that people can run late in the shot clock, because that's going to be problematic. Or maybe put up the recording. Is the recording available of that? Because
I think it is, to be honest with you.
The film breakdown, especially the film breakdown that Tom Crean gave was great. Like, Tom Crean really got into it.
Oh yeah, he did.
He got into it and broke some stuff down.
You'll have to see a change in where the high school coaches and coaches, whatever, in general, are getting into their stuff right away. Like, you don't have time to, you know what I mean? Like, you got to know your stuff. You got to get into it right away in the shot clock. So you have more time to get a shot if it gets under 10.
A lot more hero shots going up, or I don't know what else to do shots.
It's gonna be some interesting shots at the end of that shot clock. Somebody gonna get stuck. Somebody gonna get stuck in the corner, gonna launch that bit.
It's gonna be ugly. The new foul thing is gonna be a trip too. Resetting fouls after every quarter, I think, is gonna have a bigger impact.
Yeah.
Be a lot more aggressive. I can tell you that.
On you, right. You don't have to change your game plan as much.
It's gonna be some younger guys that get some playing time, because it's gonna be a lot of fouling.
There could be a lot of more personal fouls where guys are fouling out.
Yeah,
but not so many team fouls where teams are going to the free throw line.
For sure. Late in the shot clock, to be honest, Huff, if you get the ball to your best player, I'm just gonna foul you.
But the shot clock's gonna reset.
That's fine. Hey, I'll foul you. Hey. You gotta run your stuff again, and maybe I can deny them that time.
Hey, I got a question to ask y'all. Did the refs at the tournament, did they have on masks when it was refereeing?
No.
Oh man, Alabama?
Couldn't hear nothing.
These guys, they had on masks and was trying to talk and ref and blow the whistle at the same time with a mask on.
I am pro mask, but
all I know is Mondre won't be getting any calls. Because he was on those refs' head this weekend.
That's nothing new.
Now, when the big boys played, they brought in a whole nother crew.
Oh, they brought in a great crew there.
That first group?
It was more than one group, though, Mondre.
Can we talk about refereeing for a second? Do we have a moment?
Oh boy. Right, you know you still coach high school now.
I'm not a head coach.
Right, 60% ANU, 40% high school.
All right, so listen, I just want to say one thing. Listen,
what's the process?
This is my one thing when it comes to referees. If you want to referee big boy shit, big boy basketball, 17U, you gotta let the big boys play. If you want to call and control the game and make calls, influence the game under 2 minutes, you need to go referee middle school basketball. We need referees that understand how to referee big boy basketball. I'm not saying don't call fouls. I'm not saying don't control the game. I'm saying know the situation. And if a kid blocks another kid's shot and he says something under his breath.
Give me that
Technical
shit.
foul on that kid. He ain't doing anything wrong. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Come on, man.
Keep shooting, Bryce. Keep shooting.
Yeah.
You open.
Hey.
If it's 1 minute left and the team is down 3 and it's their ball, unless it's a blatant call, I'm talking about the dude clearly is out of control. It's a charge. Let them play the game and see what happens.
I'm with him.
If you are not prepared to referee big boy basketball with dudes out there that's 6'10", 6'7", or they 5'7", but they super fast and athletic, and they can run, jump, whatever it is, then just don't do it.
So you saying that we got high major refs, low major refs, mid major refs?
Man, it's a lot of Bush League refs.
I saw some rec league refs this weekend.
I mean, maybe it's just a summertime thing. I don't know what it is, but to me, it's just like, come on, bro. You know the kid ain't really saying anything to that kid. Why are you calling technical foul on this kid? He ain't even do anything.
How you know the kid? Do you know the kid didn't say nothing?
Yes.
He probably said, "Give me that shit."
Right. He probably said, "Man, right." If that.
And to take the ref's defense, a lot of those guys are getting scouted.
They get
evaluated. But that's something that I peeped though before the tournament. Like I was telling Bryce yesterday over the weekend, I'm like, okay, at certain tournaments, a ref is gonna ref different because he's getting evaluated in different things like that. But if they're not getting evaluated, I always try to tell the ref, like, look, it's for the kids. They're not coming to see you guys. So, like, I know at the On the Radar events, we give you 6 fouls. We don't want the kid to foul out. It does the kids no justice of fouling out of the game. He's supposed to be getting exposure. It doesn't help a team when a coach get kicked out the game because a ref is in his feelings. It's like, they're not coming to see you guys. Do your job, but don't control and take over the game. No one didn't play their hard money to see you play. To see you ref. Let the kids rock out.
I go back to Bryce Locke, the game that we sat and watched together, Wheeler versus Milton at Wheeler.
Woo.
We had officials that were trying to be the star of the show. We came to see Bruce. We came to see Sam Hines. We didn't come to see some dude in a Foot Locker shirt. And they took over that game for all the wrong reasons. Quality refs not working all day for $15, $20 a game. They may not be working at all this season.
No, it's some good refs out here because
it's good refs. It's good refs. Don't get my message confused. It is good refs. I'm just saying, if you're refing older kids, you gotta let them play. Like, let them play.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate. What does let them play mean?
If it's a physical, it means be consistent.
Yeah.
Then maybe you should say that instead of saying let them
if
play.
It's a foul.
Because here's what I mean, Bryce. If your dude goes up and gets mugged, you're gonna want that foul.
If both teams are, if it's called the same way on that end and I'm cool with it. But my thing is, and it's not even for me, it's not even about a fouling thing. My thing is the other side of the refereeing, the technical foul usage, the calling stuff under a certain amount of times if it's really not what it is. That's my thing. I don't really complain about fouling. Like, if you foul somebody, you foul somebody. 9 times out of 10, a kid says, man, I didn't really foul him. But I said, you did because you were out of position. You got beat off the dribble, so you were out of position. You did foul him. So my thing isn't a fouling thing. My thing is like Locke said, you're calling technical fouls when things really shouldn't be called technical fouls.
So saying get that out of here is going to be a technical foul?
But that was
Trae Young got ejected from a game from looking at a dude.
I didn't say that though. I didn't use it.
Not in the AAU. I feel like you can't ref a high school game like you do an AAU game. It's two different types of games. And the reason why I'm saying that, first of all, it's a time limit. If a ref holding up the game, calling all these fouls, guess what now? The games are not going to run on time. Games don't run on time a lot because of the refs. Because they're calling these tic-tac fouls all the time. You can do that in a high school game because that's just that one particular game. But you got games playing after games and after games, and I have seen refs want to play the tic-tac foul. I'm like, no, you can't do that. You got to let some of that shit go. I'm saying it again, let them play. Be consistent, but you can't. I feel like you can't ref a high school game the way you do an AAU game. It's two different styles of play.
No doubt, that's 100% true. And like we getting some feedback from you. If you can come out and come back in, we'll get it straight. But 100% true. I think we saw that this weekend too, Huff. Like, you know, at the end of the day, when you officiating the game, I think Bryce called it 100%. Be consistent. Be consistent throughout the game. Coaches will get their players to adjust to how you're calling the game if you're calling a consistent basketball game within that officiating crew. But we're not always seeing that. And to me, my one point, and I'll get the hell out the way. We are so hypocritical when it comes to that technical foul shit for trash talking and all that, because I guarantee you most of the refs that are blowing that whistle, if you ask them who their favorite players are, they're going to say Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Gary Payton. They're going to talk about basketball.
But here's I'm going to stop you. Again, we can't compare high school basketball to NBA.
It doesn't matter, though.
Yes, it does.
It does not matter at all.
Adults. And if we're trying to teach kids to be the right kids, you can't allow kids to be cut up and down the court. I'm not with that, Mr. Dre.
We did that as kids.
I didn't do it in a high school game, and I didn't do it in any other game.
We did.
We did a pickup game.
Talking trash is a part of basketball.
That's a game with no referees, Mondre. You got to know how to play both sides.
Because we've officiated it out of the game. You telling me in the 80s, guys in college weren't talking trash to each other?
We're talking about guys that's not in college, though. We're talking about high school guys.
So they didn't start talking trash till they got to college?
Mondre, in high school, in Georgia, we weren't talking junk like that, cussing each other out on the court. No.
I'm not necessarily saying cussing somebody out, but get that shit out of here or in your face or shit.
But if you know the rule book, you're not supposed to be cussing anyway, especially as a student. So why shouldn't the referees address that? That's all I'm saying.
I don't think they should.
You can address it without calling the technical foul, though.
I get it in a high school game, but in AAU,
that's what I'm saying, Locke. In a high school game, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm talking about AAU. Like I said, I'm an AAU guy, so I'm referring to AAU. I'm referring to travel ball on the grassroots circuit. I feel like, okay, you got to let some of that go because it's intense. It's gonna be trash talking. It's gonna be rivalries. So you're gonna, long as the ref can control the game, the kid's gonna curse. We don't know, like you say, you might just hear a kid slip out, but they're gonna curse.
And they do. And I've seen refs handle it the right way. Don't just you yell it out and look at the kid, you're gonna get teched up. Let's be real.
That's tough.
I've seen a kid miss a shot and be like shit and get a tech. Man, come on, man. How soft? To me, it's soft. Like
if the kid or the coach or the whoever is looking directly at the referee, yes, you deserve a technical foul. If I block somebody's shot and I say, man, get that crap out, and I don't even say that loud, you should not be calling a technical foul on that, bro. If I say that under my breath and you can barely hear me, you should not be calling a technical foul on that.
Coaches coach, players play, officials officiate. Dre and Bryce, would you like players and coaches telling you how to coach?
They do.
They do it all the time.
They do.
It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right.
And my thing is, we're all a part of the game. And to me, there's a way that you do it, because I also believe that there are some officials, some coaches that get so high on themselves that can't nobody tell them nothing. Like, I don't want to work or be on the floor with an official that I can't talk to. Like, I'm not saying that I want to berate the official or curse out the official or anything like that. But you're a part of the game, so we need to be able to have a conversation while the game is going on.
Let's say he texts a kid up for saying, "Get that out of here," right? As he blocks the shot. And he comes and talks to you and tells you, "Listen, I heard the kid, what he said."
Then it's a technical foul.
So you can't get mad at him for doing his job.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're confusing my message. My message is, if you didn't hear it or you can't control it, like if it was quiet and it was not in your vicinity, you shouldn't be calling that. If I turn to you or I'm walking past you at the free throw line and I say something in your ear, why would you call? Come on, man.
And I'm not saying that I'm going to be.
If the kid yells it out, yes, that's a technical foul. Obviously, yes, you can't do that.
I'm not going to say that I'm going to be mad at the official either. That's just a part of the game I don't necessarily like. Right. And maybe that's been consistent in Georgia, but in Kentucky, in other places, like, yeah, you're going to be able to talk some trash and it's okay.
Yeah. So what's the difference when a kid comes down the court, dunks the ball, and cuss at the camera?
Or what's the difference? Clap in somebody's face.
Yeah. What's the difference?
So I'll tell y'all a story. I almost lost an Elite Eight game to go to the Final Four because Malik Beasley hits a three and just starts doing this. And they perceived it as being in somebody's face.
Who was clapping towards?
He just was clapping after he hit the three. It was a big three.
Then to me, that's unacceptable. Not the kid is fine. I why can I clap because I made a shot?
Exactly. So I understand your points. I'm saying it to say I understand your points, but I think there are bigger fish to fry. To be honest with you.
I agree. I just feel like we want kids to communicate. We want kids to talk, but all we do is tell them all the stuff that they can't say.
Right.
Like I just feel like, and we love the golden age of basketball, and trash talking was a big part of it.
So what it leads to is the kids not being able to say anything to anybody except the person that's coaching them.
We're turning them into robots.
Well, maybe I'm always gonna be devil's advocate. Maybe the golden age of basketball, it got out of control, so that's why they try to trim it down.
Yeah. Well, and here's my thing: I don't necessarily agree that players should be talking to referees anyway. Unless
I agree, they shouldn't say anything to them.
Unless you're the designated speaking captain and you have that privilege. Now, don't go up to the referee and I don't think that's. I'm
on board with that, Bryce.
Now, but at the same time, if I make a good play for myself and I encourage myself a little bit, that's part of the game. That's part of momentum. You got to let that rock.
Now, and here's one thing. I'm going to play devil's advocate the other way before we get out of here, because this is where I feel like a lot of it stems from. And maybe, again, I'm not from Georgia, so maybe it's always been this way in Georgia. But where I feel like it stems from, I had two kids get into an almost fight in a practice. And then I had a mom come to me and talk to me because she was concerned. My explanation to her was, I'm completely okay with it. Number one, I've never been around a team that was any good where I didn't have to break up a fight in practice. That's number one. Number two, I feel like these are children. If I want them to compete and play as hard as they can and be passionate about the thing that they love, I have to be able to guide them through those emotions and teach them how to express themselves. But what I also feel like is happening, anytime Black men show passion, is perceived as anger. And it's perceived as something that's negative. Like, why can't we get fired up the way football players get fired up? I don't hear anybody telling football players that they can't curse on the field.
Are you on the sideline? Because I'm on the sideline and I hear it all the time. Like
I don't hear that as a big conversation.
They probably get away with more than basketball because they have helmets on. always hear.
I just don't like that these are young men and we want them to be passionate about what they do. Then we have to be able to allow them to express themselves on the floor. And I feel like all forms of expression is like they can't wear their hair the way they want. They can't wear what shoes they want. They can't roll their jersey shorts up if they want to. Like, bro, come like at some point, like to me, it gets out of hand. To me, we're trying to turn these kids into robots. And that's just my
I would disagree with that because I think no matter where you go, you can go to a college program, you can go to an NBA program. If you go to the Miami Heat, you got to have a certain amount of body fat. So if you don't learn how you're supposed to do a thing a certain way, then how can you become a man? Everything ain't about showing your emotions. Because at every point you ain't gonna be your own boss.
I think, and I see what you're saying, Huff. I do, but I also see what Dre is saying. I think, and especially for kids, sometimes they feed off that energy, that emotion, that we got a couple steals, we're in the game.
But does that mean you have to cuss at somebody?
No.
It's not a have to, but I don't think every kid, like, I'm going to give you one example of if a kid hits a big three and the other team calls a timeout and this kid slaps five with his teammates and he says, let's effing go. Let's go. We're going to call a tech on that kid.
Well,
maybe he shouldn't have cursed. I'm okay. We're going to argue about the fact that he shouldn't have cursed. But who is he hurting? He's trying to get fired up.
He may be hurting a little kid that's in the stands who looks up to him. Have you thought about that?
I think
it's
if
been a part of the game forever.
But I think it's different when you're talking about a kid. It's not an NBA player. It's not even a college player who you may.
Well, we don't even let NBA players do it now. Now we look at them like they're crazy when they say cuss words. Like it's front page news now.
Hey, what Carmelo always say?
I wish Larry Bird could be mic'd up so we can get a real example.
That's the issue you may need to address about why they're not letting them do it. That's something totally different.
Hey, what Carmelo always say when he get the rebound? Give me that shit.
Right.
Now, I mean, like I said, I don't
let our kids curse. That's a great question. I have a kid, and it depends on the situation. What just happened?
It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell 17, 18-year-olds to not curse.
Stop cursing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm old school, man, and I didn't cuss till I got old.
No,
I still was only saying damn and hell.
So, and you really don't curse a lot though, as an individual though now.
Yeah.
So you know, if a coach wanted to institute that as a rule for his team, okay. But I just feel like now it's so much. So
I mean, I agree with everything that's been said. I think if you're yelling and cursing profanity, yes, you probably deserve to get a technical foul. If you make a positive play for yourself or your team, or even a foul, and it didn't necessarily change the outcome of the game, I don't think you deserve a technical foul for that. And I think that's where the lines are being crossed.
This is the same way I grew up. Club Orange says the only place I was allowed to curse as a child was on the field or on the court. Me too.
And so here's, I think, the problem. I'll leave it at this, is that I think what happens is that maybe you're right, Andre. Maybe we have become a little bit more sensitive as kids. Because, I mean, if somebody dunked on me when I played and they said a cuss word, I was okay. They could have clapped in my face. I'm just going to try to get them on the other end of the court. But the problem has become, and many refs will tell you, it has created situations that they can't handle when you get a brawl, and now you got people coming out the stands to come fight on the court.
Fair enough.
So they got to stop it the only way they can, which is the way they can control, which is on the court.
Mm.
I just wish we would allow, you know, I see that point, Huff, and I agree. I feel like let's find some ways to allow these kids to express themselves and to me,
we got to take it to a bigger level then. It ain't about basketball then. Do you want to learn how to express themselves? Let's talk about classes they can have in school.
Well, basketball is their art form. And your art form is the way that you express yourselves. So I would love for us to let's move when we start talking to our young men and teaching our young men. I just think overall, right? And I'm getting off this subject about cursing or not. I'm not even talking about that. Let's get to start telling these young men and reinforcing what we want them to do and stop so much of saying, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Because when all they hear is what not to do, and we're not enforcing and celebrating what we want them to do, then we get these robotic, emotionless.
Or honestly, sometimes they're not emotionless. Sometimes they have more emotions.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So, and we're constantly telling them what not to do. No. It becomes I'm gonna.
It goes back to showing them how to show their emotions. They can show their emotions without having to cuss and get in the dude's face.
True.
You can be excited about a dunk that you just dunked on somebody without staring them down.
I don't know. If I dunk on you, I'm definitely probably gonna stare you down, though.
To me, if you get dunked on, you should know that you're gonna get stared down. It's okay.
Hey, I dunked. I'm coming down the court like this.
Yeah, I feel like
That's not tearing them down either.
we trying to shelter some kids from these experiences.
But notice the difference, though.
And we
Tearing
said
them down to doing this is totally different.
That's taunting too, though, Huff.
No, that's really just bigging up the crowd.
that in today's age, it's the same thing. Like I don't know. Like we gotta let them, man. Come on, let's let them go, man. These are young kids. Like they're trying to learn their art, man. They're trying to, I don't know. Basketball is always a place of expression. If you can't draw, if you can't dance, if you can't rap, if you can't sing, but you play basketball, that's your stage. That's your time to express yourself, man.
Huff, let me ask you this. Say if a kid get an and one, drives to the back,
Just
get
win
an
game.
and one, and he comes up doing this.
That's
Does he
fine.
deserve to take?
I'm okay. But I don't need you yelling out.
So if he yell out and one like this,
I'm still okay.
Hey, Locke, you know the one I like the best. It's not this one. It's when they.
I
like that
one. Yeah,
I like that one too.
But here's what I don't want to have.
Right there, yeah.
But here's
Yeah,
what
I
I don't want to have.
like
We
that
want them to show emotion, and they go dunk, and they staring at the cameras, and the other team coming the other way to get a score. But now y'all
I'm
want
not
to show
saying
emotion, and we getting our ass whooped.
For sure, yeah. And now you're not competing. But Huff, we talked about too that we saw a kid flexing and all that stuff, and they were down 30. We didn't want to see that either.
Thank you.
Like I'm cool with that.
We have to teach them. That's the biggest thing. We got to
teach. And that's my big issue with that. We got to teach. And right now we're just saying no, don't.
Right.
I don't think everybody's saying that.
A lot of people.
A lot of folks.
I can say what there's some.
It's probably either side of the spectrum. They either don't say nothing at all, or there's probably, you know what I mean? And it's hard as a coach to have that. Let me encourage him.
Never do anything that will hurt your team. It's bigger than you. So if you take that approach, I'm not telling you don't do this, don't do that.
Don't hurt your team. I think that's a good rule of thumb, and maybe a good.
But here's the thing, Huff. Here's the thing with that, and that is very true. But in the kid's mind, don't hurt my team may also mean let me go get 15 more shots up there.
That's hurting your team though. But then you got to talk about roles. But me telling you a role is still not telling you, like if I say you're not a shooter, I don't need you taking threes because you're not a shooter. Right?
Hey, that kid is definitely taking the next 5 shots to prove you wrong.
And guess what's gonna happen? There you go.
You on that swine pine.
Hey, let me ask y'all the last question. We out of here, man. When you were coming out of the game, was it offensive for you for the guy who's subbing in for you to bring you a towel?
I didn't have that luxury. I can't answer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've never had that, and I was also thinking too, back to Cam's points, that a lot of people when I was coming up, we played basketball. I was playing versus my like uncles and stuff like that, people in the neighborhood. Those people have like now become trainers and stuff. So a lot of I didn't have people handing me towels. Like what?
You was just happy to get some soaked ass Gatorade.
Have towels on the bench?
Yeah, if my parents stopped at the 7-Eleven and got me a Gatorade before the game, I was good to go. I am not getting no towel. Nobody's handing me.
I'll tell you what, you talking about a towel. You get subbed out the game. You get subbed out the game and don't dap your coach up and walk past him. Now that
y'all be in y'all feelings about that though, Huff?
I said back in the day.
Oh.
However, I'll let you walk past. I'll let you walk down because sometimes my assistant don't get you.
When he come out the game, he got to give you dap, Huff.
No, because I'm not always dapping everybody up. But
Why? Why though? Why? Why?
So,
I'm not always dapping everybody up.
So Huff,
We did. We had towels.
Huff, have you had a kid where you had your hand out to give him a dap, but he just walked past you?
Bro, if you've been coaching long enough, you probably had one of those
But
kids.
hold
Hey,
on.
I seen Huff blow up at one
You
of those
dap
kids.
every kid. You dap every kid that comes off the floor, good or bad.
I try to. And when I miss it, because I believe in the power of touch, though. I believe that's how you have relationships with kids. You're not just dapping them up because they did something good. You're dapping them up when they come out. I believe in my coaching staff talking to kids when they come out, good or bad. Now, you gotta. Some kids just don't want to buy in. And
I'm telling you, boy, God.
And as
damn.
Andre said, I've had kids who didn't want to buy in, and that didn't sit well with me.
You said a cuss word too, Huff.
By buying in,
I saw you say a cuss word. I was calling the game, Huff. I heard it.
so buying in means that the kid has to dap you up on the way out.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I will say this though, Bryce, because what Huff is saying, I believe in as a coach too. My players will say every time you come out the game, I'm gonna say something to you, whether it's hey man,
I'm gonna give you something.
Yeah, and it could be a lot of times for me, it's you didn't do anything wrong, because a lot of times when players think they come out of the game, it's because they messed up.
Right.
I'll tell them, hey, you didn't do nothing wrong. I'm just giving you a blow. Hey,
Or
wait.
even if they did something wrong, I could be saying, listen, calm down. You're all right. I'm gonna put you back in. Just we can't make that same decision next time.
For sure.
It ain't even just about the dap up sometimes, you know.
For sure.
And sometimes I just tell them, hey, go see Coach Mays. Go see
What's your pattern? It's sub, it's player, sub, player comes off, dap, then message, or message, then dap.
It depends on what it is. Because there are times they can go all the way down. I want my players to touch all the guys once they come out. And then they can come back to me. But there are sometimes it could be something I need to tell them right then.
For me, I'm always a right then guy, and I'm trying to give you 5 to 10 seconds, no more than that. I'm giving you 5 to 10 seconds.
What if it's an emotion? We talk about emotions of kids. That emotion in that moment, he might need to walk all the way down and dap everybody up and then come back to you to calm down.
Hey, I coach my own son. Trust me, I know. Nervous.
I mean, this is a whole conversation. I've never had thoughts about daps because in my mind, like, all right, you don't dap me up, bro. Go sit down. I don't care. Like, and I
understand what you're saying.
I'm gonna give you what you need, but I'm not gonna take the dap into like I never thought about it that way.
And I'm gonna tell you what to me, it builds relationships, man. Like where they understand. Regardless of this game, you having a bad game, a bad moment, we still have a relationship that I'm trying to build into you.
And I will say this too.
That for me just does the dap that doesn't signify that for me. I think
you look at it as just a dap. I'm talking about a touch where maybe it's the confrontation, me and the player are face to face, or me coming back, my arms around the player. Sometimes it could just be a pat on the back. Although I think it's just a touch. Like if you really listen to Steve,
fair enough.
He talks about the power of touch. Now he does it in practice, and if you look to a lot of, especially beginning practices, they touching all their guys.
I do too. I'm high five.
What if you're just highly disappointed with somebody's effort? Then what? They still get it. They still get something.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I'm telling them what I'm disappointed in.
Yes.
Like I'm good at. You a better player than that. We've worked on this.
100%. But I'm 100%. If you messing up, I'm gonna make it personal. I'm gonna say, hey, you told me that you want to do X.
Yeah.
And you're not showing me, or you're not showing anybody that that's who you want to be right now. But I will say one thing that I've learned is that my best players will ask questions about what I say, and they may challenge me on that. They say, but man, coach, I saw this. And it's come times to a point where my best players, I'll tell them to go get the board, and we'll sit there, draw it up. I'll have my assistant start coaching or whatever I have to do. and we're gonna draw what we saw.
That's cool. I'm all over for that. If you see something that you need to make an adjustment, please let me know. I just have never thought about like that, just one aspect of it. When I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna tell you what you're doing right or wrong. I just had never thought about that touch, whether it's a dap, a butt tap, a parent. Like, I'm gonna do it, whatever happens in the in the moment.
Like Bryce, even think of it like this: like, so that guy could be really upset at you for whatever reason, right? The touch may be you dapping him on the, like you hitting him on his back and say, "Go see Coach Bryce," because like for me, all my coaches have certain guys on the team that they have to have their own relate. They get 2, 3 to 4 guys they have to have their own relationship with.
For sure.
Right? So like it could be your guy, and I know like, okay, he's upset with me. He ain't gonna listen to me right now. Go see Coach Bryce because you got a different relationship with him than I got.
Yeah, and I might point to the chair, sit right here. So he
exactly. Yep. There you go.
But I didn't touch him though. So is our relationship still the same?
I'm big in touch, so that's different for me. I'm a
big touch guy too.
Yeah, I'm a big that is not.
Yeah.
But for me,
I just haven't analyzed it. I'm not saying I am or ain't because I don't know.
I'll put it to you like this, Bryce.
For me, there's something
I'll put it to you like this, Bryce. There are times in my mind I know if I didn't touch the kid, I go, man, I might have been mad at him, and if I didn't touch him, I'm upset with myself.
So do you think that touch can make the difference between that kid getting back in the game and making that free throw to win the game?
Yes, or making the play that I need him to make.
For me, Bryce, it's more so letting the kid know that I'm not mad at you. Yeah. I'm mad at that.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I'm not mad at
that with my words though. I don't have to touch somebody to do that.
For sure. I don't think it's a thing that coaches have to do or not have to do.
Every coach has their thing.
Like, I don't have a thing with that. So I mean, I might dap you up. I might not.
I'll be honest, there's some coaches who will embarrass the mess out of you if you don't do something they do.
Yeah, no.
I will never embarrass a kid. I will never embarrass a kid like that.
Yeah.
That's just
get mad with that when you don't dap them up on the way out.
Now, one thing I do know too, Bryce, and I have to be mindful of this because I am a big touch guy. I have some kids that don't like to be touched, and I can tell they don't like to be.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
They don't like, so I try to be respectful and mindful of that too. I try to have, it's based on the kid. You can't make necessarily every kid do that. Yeah.
But you got to have a coach in your program now. Like, I do think things will be different this year. I will say that.
Yeah, we ain't doing all that dapping.
Yeah. Matter of fact, put that mask on when you go to the hey man, that's our show. Gave y'all 2 hours, man. Almost 2.5 hours. We love you guys. Appreciate your support. We are now on Twitch. You can watch the Love of the Game podcast on Twitch now.
They just gave you the same looks I gave you. They don't know what Twitch is either.
I am learning.
No.
That sounds like your behind the scenes Instagram. What's it called?
Finsta? I promise it's not a Finsta. But yeah, you can watch Love of the Game.
Right.
We are cutting edge over here. We are leading the path forward.
Twitch has, I think I've seen that on Instagram one time, their page.
It's a great platform. If my Georgia podcast partners want to understand how to get on Twitch and build your Twitch channel, I will share all the information that I've learned as I've been learning about building up our Twitch channel. But for the kids know what Twitch is, and they probably already have Twitch accounts. So tell a friend to tell a friend that you can watch the Love of the Game podcast on Twitch. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and now Twitch, also SoundCloud, that you can listen to us. But you want to watch because you get to see the highlights and all that stuff better. So
feels like we're moving up.
So should I go follow Twitch on Instagram or Twitter, or what? Do I follow Love of the Game on Twitch?
You follow Love of the Game on Twitch.
I have to download this app.
I'll tweet out how you follow us on Twitch. I'll put it
out. Thank you to people who are not technically savvy.
Hey, Mondre, write a KB article.
Don't make me lock.
What
Don't
the
make
hell?
me
My
lock.
head.
Yeah, that must be some tech guy guru stuff.
I know.
Yeah,
Geeky
they call it
stuff.
knowledge base.
Instead of my iPhone didn't pull it up. It is, man. I got you. Hey, EYE, Brad. Hey, Brad, I gotta pull up to one of your
Hey,
fall league or something.
He's having a second session, man. My guy's having a second session down there. I'm gonna make it this time.
I gotta make it, man. Make sure hit me up in the DMs, Brad. I gotta make sure I come out and
Hey,
support.
here's
Man.
something I want to say about Brad, man. We talk about a lot of trainers and a lot of people who do a lot of stuff, but Brad does it for boys and girls. There ain't a lot of people that do it for boys and girls like Brad does.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to you, Brad.
100%. 100%.
South side.
Huff, I'm gonna let you take us out of here, man. This is our last thing. We out.
Hey, man. Cam tried to tell us, kind of talked about it before. We hope to see you this Wednesday, bridging the gap between AAU high school and college coaches, August 5th, which is this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Rob Lanier, Tom Crean, some NAIA, some other D2 coaches, some JUCO coaches, some AAU programs, some high school coaches. They've all locked in. We only got about 30 spots left. Go on Twitter. You'll see the registration link either under my Twitter account, the Georgia Minority Coaches Association Twitter account. All four of us are going to be on there. It's going to be an interactive discussion. You may be called upon to give your opinion. Everybody has an opinion. We're going to be able to talk about it this Wednesday. So hope to see you this Wednesday, 7 p.m.
No doubt. Wednesday at 7 p.m. Shout out to Coach Juke. To you, sir, as you continue to grow in your field and helping kids. As we talk about people who are all about the kids. Juke, shout out to you, man. Appreciate everything you do, brother.
Man.
Pro, we got to get you on the show. Pro Move. We got to get you on.
That's my guy. My
Come
guy,
holler,
Jared.
bro. Much respect, bro.
Hey, did y'all talk about Coach Hill already?
Yeah, that was the beginning of the show.
Did. We did. South Georgia Lock. If you got something for it, man, go ahead, bro.
No, man. I met Coach Hill a few years ago. You know, he went to Albany State, and I met him a few years ago at a tournament down in Albany, man. I hate just what's going on down in Statesboro right now, man. What happened to the kid last month, then this month here, what's going on, man. So you just want to let you know you guys are in our prayers, the whole entire city and stuff like that, man. I just hate to lose great coaches, just great people. And Coach Hill was a great guy, old school guy. Every time I talked to him, he was dropping a pebble. Every time we talked,
no doubt,
he was just giving knowledge. And you know what I always liked about Coach Hill, he wasn't into all the extra stuff and doing none of that. He did his job, and he did his job well.
No doubt. No doubt. And if you missed the beginning of our show, that's how we started our show. Had a moment of silence for Statesboro, Georgia, and Coach Hill, man. So definitely lost a legend, man. So shout out Statesboro. You guys are in our prayers. That's our show, man. We will be back on Thursday. We still rocking 2 shows a week, man. We're going to try to keep it going. We'll be back on Thursday with another great episode. Thursday at 8 o'clock, man. Lock us in.
SUV, I missed the studio.
Man, we got to get back in there, bro.
Yes.
Marcus,
on Twitch. We on Twitch. We on Snapchat. We on Spencer. We don't.
Man, I got some new shoes. I don't got nowhere to wear them. I just want to wear them on the show.
Man, send me them shoes back, bro.
Hey, chill out.
Definitely shout out to SUV TV. It's the movement. People are finally starting to recognize the value. I think COVID has done one thing, and people realize the value of having SUV TV at your event or at your game and the value that brings. It takes your local event and makes it a nationwide event.
We have been trying to say that for years, but now they see it in real life.
Now you're seeing it real time. Real time. It's the Love the Game podcast, man. We out of here. Love y'all.